So FC24 has come to an end, and I have compiled our top 5 rebuilds from the game for you to watch to kill time before the anticipated release of FC25 in just a few days' time. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, grab a snack. This is going to be a long one, and enjoy our top 5 rebuilds of FC24. So I think it's safe to say that Celtic have dominated Scottish football for the last decade. In that time, they have won 9 league titles and 7 Scottish Cups. That is what you call domination. And as of right now, they currently sit top of the Scottish Premier League, 8 points clear of Rangers, with a 38 goal difference. So I think it's safe to say that Celtic are well on track to win yet another Scottish title. So personally, I think Celtic need a new challenge. So we are going to be taking Celtic out of the Scottish League and placing them into the English Premier League to make this rebuild slightly more difficult. And today's rebuild will have another objective, lads. We have to win the Premier League as well as the Champions League. Let's get this Celtic rebuild on the way. So this is the Celtic team we've loaded into, and wow, this is a really good side. We have got some excellent players at the club, like club captain McGregor, striker Furuhashi, and central midfielder Hatate. Like, genuinely, lads, this team has took me by surprise, and there's some players in this team who've got amazing potential, like Abada, the right winger, and O'Reilly in centre midfield, so I can definitely work with this team. Like, honestly, there's only 5 players at the club over 30. That is so good, and that's an even bigger result for us because we cannot make any signings until January the 1st, because in these rebuilds, if you know, the first summer transfer window is always disabled. And when we arrive at January the 1st, lads, I would like a new centre-back to replace Phillips, as he's only on loan, and I would like a new goalkeeper to replace Joe Hart because he's 36 and retiring at the end of the season. Not as impressive as this team is on paper, lads, I do have to take one thing into consideration. We're in the Premier League. There are some genuine superstars in this league. So my plan for this Celtic team is to soak up pressure and hit teams on the counter-attack. So we are going with the counter-attacking tactical vision. Now, when we do arrive in January, lads, we'll have £37 million to improve our squad, which is a very healthy budget. Now, before we proceed any further, lads, I've got a little bit of trivia for you. In the last 10 Scottish Premier League seasons, Celtic have been absolutely dominant, winning 9 league titles. But how many games have Celtic lost at home in the last 10 years? If you know the answer, be sure to drop it down in a comment below. But back to the rebuild, lads. We've sorted out the team, the tactical vision, and the finances. There's absolutely nothing left to do but simulate forward to January the 1st and see how Celtic are getting on in the Premier League. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we're sitting in a very respectable 13th place. But there's something on the screen that I wanted to have a look at. Manchester United are currently 16th in the Premier League, just 4 points above the relegation zone. Forget Celtic, what is going on at Manchester United? I know it's time to bring in a goalkeeper and a centre-back with £47 million. And a goalkeeper is our main priority, as Joe Hart has dropped all the way down to 69 rated. He is absolutely useless to us at the minute. So as you know, boys, we're in the market for a goalkeeper, and we have identified Gavin Bazunu of Southampton. Now, this is a bit of a risk as he's only 71 rated. He's 21-year-old, a lot of room to grow, and we can bring him in for between 4.6 and 3.7 million. So this is a no-brainer. And for 3.7 million euros, we've brought Gavin Bazunu to Celtic. And that means we've now got £44 million to improve the rest of the squad. And we desperately need a centre-back in this window, lads, and I've identified Josip Sutalo of Ajax, 79 rated, 23-year-old defender, who's going to cost us between 31 and 24 million pounds, lads, but I think he'll be worth every penny. And for 25 million pounds, we have brought Josip Sutalo to Celtic. Now, after the signings of Bazunu and Sutalo, we are left with 18 million pounds, but I don't actually know where I want to improve the squad with this money. So what I'm thinking, lads, I might just save it for next season. Now, boys, you thought the transfer window was over, weren't you? No, it's not. We have made one more signing, and what a signing this is. We have brought Evan Ferguson to the club from Brighton for £12.8 million. Ferguson is 19 years old and 75 rated, and he is one of the best young strikers in this entire game. And with only £3 million remaining, that is our transfer window finished, but we do have some outgoings to run you through. Yuki Kobayashi joined Bournemouth on loan till the end of the season. Yang Hyun-jun joined Crystal Palace on loan till the end of the season. Benjamin Sigrist has joined Leeds United for £700,000. Scott Bain has joined Watford for £300,000. David Turnbull has joined Galatasaray on loan till the end of the season. And Gustaf Lagerbielke has joined Everton on loan till the end of the season as well. Rounding off our transfer window, lads, let's simulate it forward to the end of the season and see how Celtic got on. We've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and we did have an amazing first season, finishing 7th in the Premier League on 58 points. Just 3 points off a Europa League spot, lads, so that is an amazing first season in the Premier League. We made it to a very respectable 5th round of the FA Cup, getting beat 5-3 by West Ham, and we were knocked out of the Carabao Cup in the 4th round by Chelsea on penalties. So all in all, lads, an excellent first season in England. Now, looking at the team, lads, we've had multiple players reach 80 rated in Sutalo, O'Reilly, Hatate and Kyogo. sure. So all in all, lads, I'm very, very impressed with this Celtic team, and we've got a really good foundation now to build next season. In terms of stats, lads, our best player was Kyogo, getting 30 goals and 4 assists. He had an excellent first season in England, but he did score the majority of our goals, as Parma chipped in with 13 and Abada chipped in with 12. But after that, lads, not many contributions from the rest of the squad. Going into next season, lads, I definitely want to start improving the left side of our team, so our left back position is a priority, and I might even look to improve the left winger position as well. And unfortunately, lads, we'll be saying goodbye to Joe Hart, Paulo Bernardo and Nathaniel Phillips at the end of the season. We've arrived in season 2, lads, and we've got a very healthy £67 million to spend. Now, we already know we want a left back, lads, but I've had a bit of a change of heart. I'm going to bring in a CDM to replace Callum McGregor, as he's 32 years old and 79 rated. Now, as we know, lads, we are in the market for a left back, and I've identified Kieran Tierney of Arsenal, who actually started his career with Celtic, and we're going to bring him back to Celtic Park, and it's going to cost us between 29 and 23 million pounds. And for 23 million pounds, we have brought Kieran Tierney back to Celtic. Now, lads, as you know, we're in the market for a centre defensive midfielder, and we have found the man for the job. Cheek Doucouré of Crystal Palace, a 24-year-old 80 rated CDM, who's going to cost us between 23 and 28 million pounds, lads, so we can definitely make it happen. And we have brought Doucouré to Celtic for 23.5 million pounds. Now, after the signing of Doucouré, lads, we are actually still left with 38 million pounds. But you know what? This team is very, very young, and it's developing very fast, so I'm actually going to give these lads a chance till January the 1st to develop and see where they can get us in the league table. And if we're in trouble in January, I can use that 38 million pounds to bring a new player in. We've reached the end of the transfer window, lads, and we have got some outgoings to bring you up to date with. Michael Johnston joined Bologna for 2.5 million. Orhean Gyo joined Nottingham Forest for 7.9 million. Rocco Vata joined Luton on loan for the season. Odin Thiago Holm joined Club Brugge on loan for the season. Tomoki Iwata joined Sporting CP on loan for the season. Adam Montgomery joined Norwich on loan for the season. Alexandro Bernabei joined Crystal Palace on loan for the season. And Yuki Kobayashi joined Ajax on loan for the season as well. I think it's vital that we get players who aren't going to be playing for us out on loan so they can get minutes and develop into even better players. Now let's simulate forward to January the 1st and see how Celtic are getting on. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we are currently sitting 5th in the Premier League table. We could not have dreamed for a better start to the season, and that's just shown when you look at the starting 11. Only Bazunu and Parma are under 80 rated in the starting 11, and even in the starting 11 now, we've got some players like Sutalo and O'Reilly who've already 82 rated it. We've got a very, very good young squad that's growing rapidly, lads. Now, we do actually have 38 million pounds, and it almost feels wrong for me to not spend it. So that leads me to the question, where do I bring a new player in and who do I replace? Well, I'm looking to the first team and I'm looking at Parma. He's 78 rated and 24 years old, meaning he has got some room to grow, but I think we can bring someone better in than him. I seem to do this every single rebuild. I didn't realise that Rio Hitate, when I give him a new deal, inserted a release clause into his contract unless the City have met it, and I've just been surprised with this message that he's left the club. So that means that with the money we've got, plus the money that's coming in from the Hitate deal, we need to bring in a new centre midfielder. But it's not all doom and gloom, lads. We've got 70 million pounds to bring in a replacement. So we have identified the man we want to bring to Celtic to replace Hitate, and it is Kwadio Kone, an 81 rated 23-year-old French centre midfielder who's currently playing for Sassuolo. He is unbelievably well-rounded, lads, and it's going to cost us between 38 and 47 million pounds to make the deal happen. And for 45.7 million pounds, we have brought Kwadio Kone to Celtic, leaving us with 22 million pounds, which we're going to save for next season. Well, that is our transfer window finished. Hitate out, Kone in. Now we're simulating forward to the end of the season, and can we actually sneak into a Champions League spot? So we've arrived at season 2, lads, and we are playing Europa League football next season, as we have secured 5th place in the Premier League, just 3 points off a Champions League spot, scoring a whopping 71 goals in the process. Honestly, lads, I am absolutely buzzing with the progress we've made as Celtic, boss. We had a brilliant run in the FA Cup, getting all the way to the semi-finals, only to be knocked out on penalties by Chelsea. The Carabao Cup, though, wow, a bit of a disappointment. We were knocked out by Oxford United on penalties in the 3rd round. Looking at the team, lads, and oh my god, it is looking beautiful at the minute. The main growers being Doucouré, O'Reilly, Sutalo, Bazunu going by 6. You may see that Evan Ferguson is the focal point of the team. That is because we have made him our first choice striker, as he's now 79 rated, and he's got such good potential, lads, that he has to be playing. Now, going into next season, we definitely need an improvement on the left wing position, as Parma is 25 years old and 79 rated. Now that we're competing in Europe, we need to start bringing some world-class players into the football club. In terms of the rest of the squad, lads, I'm really happy with everywhere else. I think everyone's going at a really good rate, and we're actually performing on the pitch. So I'm okay with just bringing one player in next summer. Our best player this season was Evan Ferguson, getting 23 goals in 32 games. That's a brilliant return for the young man. Then Abada chipped in with 15 goals, Matt O'Reilly 11, and Parma 11 as well. But after that, lads, it does drop off a bit, so we do need to start adding some goals from the rest of the squad. So let's get stuck into season 3, lads, and see how we do in Europe. So we've arrived in season 3, lads, and just look at that. We have got 158 million pounds to improve our team. It's time to start bringing some world-class players to Celtic. Now, we already know we want to bring in a left winger in this window, but I also want to bring in a right back to replace Alistair Johnston. He's 80 rated and 26-year-old, so he's actually a good player at a good age, but I think we've got 158 million. We need to bring a world-class right back in to replace him. So boys, our hunt for a left winger has brought us to Ryan Shirky of Stuttgart. 79 rated, 21-year-old, 5-star skill, 5-star weak foot. He is currently a centre attacking midfielder, but we are going to position change him to a left winger, and he is going to cost us between 33 and 26.5 million pounds, so we should have no issues getting this deal over the line. And we have wrapped up the deal for Ryan Shirky for 31.5 million pounds. Now after the signing of Shirky, we're still left with 143 million pounds. We had a little boost to the transfer budget as we sold Alistair Johnson to Aston Villa for 20 million pounds. I know we have got an absolutely eye-watering sum of money to bring in a replacement right back, but lads, I don't just want to blow every single penny on a right back. I might budget like 60 million max for a right back, then save the money. Let's keep building and building this transfer budget so we can just get whoever we want in future seasons. And our search for a right back has brought us to Pedro Porro of Tottenham Hotspur. 85 rated, 25-year-old, and extremely well-rounded, lads. I think this would be an amazing signing, and it's going to cost us between 42.6 and 53.3 million pounds, so we should have no problems getting this deal done. And for 48 million pounds, we have brought Pedro Porro to Celtic Park. So after the signings of Shirky and Porro, we're left with 89 million pounds. And honestly, lads, looking at that team, I'm going to give all these players another chance to grow and impress me this season. So this is our transfer window officially done. And if we're underperforming in January, we've got 89 million pounds to sort out the squad. So our transfer window is finished, lads. We've had no further incomings and no further outgoings. All that's left to do is check our Europa League group. And our group will consist of Hoffenheim, Copenhagen and Applewell. So we should definitely get through that group, lads. Let's simulate forward to January the 1st and see if we did. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we're having a slightly disappointing season, currently sitting in 7th position. Only 5 points off a Champions League spot and 4 points off a Europa League spot. So it's not all doom and gloom, lads, but we could definitely be doing better. We absolutely smashed our Europa League group, lads, winning 5 from 6, not losing a single game and finishing on 16 points, and we are now into the next round of the Europa League. And we have got a whopping 99 million pound transfer budget. And looking at the starting 11, lads, Gavin Bazunu seems to have reached his max potential, as he's been 80 rated for absolutely ages now. And if we look to his development plan, lads, he's not going to grow till at least the end of the season. And there has been some interest in Bazunu, so I'm thinking, do we bring in a new goalkeeper in this window? And you know what, lads? Brentford have actually made us a very good offer for Bazunu, so I'm actually going to accept it. He's free to leave the club, and we're going to bring in a replacement goalkeeper. So we've identified Bazunu's replacement, lads, and it's going to be Lucas Chevalier from Lille in the French league. He's 24-year-old, 83 rated, and he looks amazing on paper. And it's only going to cost us less than 30 million pounds, lads. And for 27.1 million pounds, we have brought Chevalier to Celtic. And you can't deny, lads, that team is starting to look seriously good on paper. So that's the end of the transfer window, lads. Only 1 outgoing and 1 incoming. We're now simulating forward to the end of the season, and I'm hoping for a strong finish to the season. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and it is not good news. We ended up finishing 7th in the Premier League on 66 points. We have somehow regressed as a team, and I have to say, lads, I'm going to take responsibility for this. I had a massive chunk of money, and I just tried to be sensible with it, didn't splash the cash, and I've ultimately paid the price. Going into next season, lads, believe me, we will be splashing the cash, because that is not acceptable. We did manage to get to an FA Cup semi-final where we were beaten by Manchester City 2-1, and to add to the disappointment, lads, we were beaten in the Carabao Cup final by Manchester City. And you know what? In every single rebuild I've done in the AFC, I don't think I've won the Carabao Cup yet. We had a decent run in the Europa League where we were beaten 6-4 in the quarterfinals by Hoffenheim. Again, a fixture I think we should have won. We've had a really disappointing season, boys. In terms of growth in the team, though, O'Reilly had a really good season in terms of growth, as did Evan Ferguson. Doucouré and Cornet grew nicely as well, but with that squad, lads, we had to be getting into Europe. I'm really disappointed. Going into next season, lads, believe me, we're splashing the cash. I want a new centre-back, left-back, and potentially I might even replace Shirky, lads, because I expected him to grow a lot more than he has, and he really didn't set the world alight. Now, I looked to the stats, lads, and Evan Ferguson was our best player, getting 31 goals and 5 assists in 52 games. Kouadio Cornet had a brilliant season, getting 20 goals and 12 assists, along with Leo Albada with 18 and 6. But after that, lads, again, the goal contributions massively dry up. Nowhere near enough goal contributions from Shirky, so he's definitely getting replaced next season. So all in all, lads, a very poor season. Let's put it behind us, get into season 4 and correct the wrongs by spending some money. So we've arrived in season 4 and we've got 144 million pounds, and believe me, lads, we're spending every single penny. So the first position I want to improve this season, lads, is the centre-back position, and I am not even bothered. I'm going all out. I am bringing William Saliba to Celtic. He's only got 11 months left on his deal, so we can get in between 81 and 65 million pounds. He's 88 rated, 25-year-old, lads. Absolute no-brainer. Let's get him to Celtic Park. And for an absolute absolute steal at £70 million, we have brought William Saliba to Celtic. Now, lads, there's been multiple outgoings that I will run you through in a second, but we've got £152 million in our transfer budget, and I really want to bring in a new left back to replace Kieran Tierney. And I have identified the man, Nuno Mendes of Arsenal, 87 rated 24-year-old left back, and he's going to cost us between 102 and 82 million pounds. I don't even care, lads. I am spending the cash this summer. And for an eye-watering 90 million pounds, we have brought Nuno Mendes to Celtic. Now, after the signings of Saliba and Mendes, lads, we're left with 74 million pounds. Now, I did say I would spend every single penny of the budget this summer, but a quick glance to the league table, and we've gone 3 from 3 and only conceded 2 goals in 3 games on 9 points, beating City and Liverpool in the process. So I think this team deserves a chance given the start it's made to the Premier League season. But when we do get to January, we'll have 75 million pounds to spend. But surely now this team should have enough to at least get Champions League qualification. I mean, look at that defence. That's got to be one of the best defences in the Premier League. Now, after last season's disappointment, lads, it was imperative that we got rid of some of the deadwood this season, and we have sold so many players. Starting off with a fan favourite, Kyogo. He's gone to West Ham United for £27.7 million. Kieran Tierney left to go to Napoli for £33 million. Alan McGregor has left the club to go to Newcastle United for £11 million. He had started to decline in overall, and that's the same with Kyogo. Adam Montgomery has joined Middlesbrough for £2.8 million. Gustav Lagerbielke has joined Bournemouth for £2.85 million. Greg Taylor joined Crystal Palace for £8.4 million. Anthony Ralston joined Al Nassr for £1.6 million, bringing a close to our transfer window. And lads, despite finishing 7th, we're actually in the Europa League somehow, so I'm assuming that an English side must have won the Champions League or Europa League last season. And our group is Mönchengladbach, Austria Wien and Cluj 1907. Do you know what, lads? I weren't expecting to be in any European competition. At least we're in one, and we're going to have a real good go at winning it. We've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and this is much more like it. We are top of the Premier League, 7 points clear of Arsenal, only losing 2 games all season. We're absolutely smashing it this year, and our decision to splash the cash has definitely paid off so far. We also topped our Europa League group, lads, on 13 points, level with Mönchengladbach. It was very tight at the top. That means we're into the round of 16 already. Now, we do still have 70 million of our transfer budget, lads, but it's clear to see we're absolutely smashing it in the league and smashing it in Europe, so I'm going to save it for next season. We've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and feast your eyes on this. Celtic are the champions of England. 16 points clear of second placed Arsenal, only losing 4 times all season, scoring 85 goals. What a way to respond to such a bad season last season. And lads, we might as well make it a domestic double while we're at it. We beat Norwich City 3-2 in the FA Cup final to pick up our 2nd trophy of the rebuild. And while we're at it, we might as well pick up our 3rd trophy of the rebuild. We beat Ajax 5-2 in the Europa League final to pick up European silverware for Celtic. We easily saw off Borussia Dortmund 5-1 over 2 legs. Then we smashed Lille 4-2 over 2 legs. Beat Valencia 4-2 over 2 legs. Then smashed Ajax in the final 5-2. I think it's safe to say, lads, we are definitely ready for the Champions League now. So look at the starting 11, lads. William Saliba reached 91 rated this season. He is by far our best player. We also had some really healthy growth from Cornet and O'Reilly. So all in all, lads, I'm really happy with how that team is looking. We do need to start getting some players to 90 rated though as we're in the Champions League. Where do I want to improve the squad? Well, it's obvious in it. Left winger Shirky just hasn't met expectations here at Celtic, so we're in the market for a new left winger next summer. Look at the stats. Evan Ferguson, wow. 51 goals in 58 games, getting 13 and 13 in the Europa League. That is absolutely crazy. So it's time to get into Season 5, lads, get a new left winger in and get stuck into the Champions League. So we've arrived in Season 5, lads, and we've got £244 million to improve our squad. We are going to have some fun this summer. So, lads, this rebuild has been a bit of a fun one, and it putting Celtic into the English leagues. Well, with £244 million, I'm thinking, why don't I bring in the best left winger in the world in-game right now? And that man is Kvicha Kvaratskhelia from Napoli. 92 rated, 26 years old, and he is going to cost us between 172 and 215 million pounds. Let's get him to Celtic. And lads, for a whopping 200 million pounds, we have brought Kvaratskhelia to Celtic. And we have had 2 outgoings so far in this window, boys. Ryan Shirky joined Manchester United for 54 million pounds, and Sead Haskabanovic has joined Burnley for 12 million pounds. Meaning we've actually still got 93 million pounds if we wanted to bring anyone else in, but I'm going to call that transfer window there. We are not topping the signing of Kvaratskhelia. So we start the season off with a bit of a mixed bag of results, lads. We absolutely smashed Arsenal 4-1 in the Community Shield to win our 4th bit of silver of the rebuild, but we unfortunately lost in the UEFA Super Cup to AC Milan on penalties. Can't really complain though, lads. They're both just glorified pre-season friendlies. We've reached the end of the transfer window, lads. There's been no further incomings and no further outgoings. All that's left to do is check our Champions League group. Our Champions League group is in, lads, and it could be the hardest Champions League group of all time. We've got Inter Milan, Bayern Munich and Shelbourne. Now, really concerned about Shelbourne, but Inter Milan and Bayern Munich. Are you joking me? We are going to have to be on our A game to get through this group. We arrived at January the 1st, lads, and it's a lot tighter in the Premier League this season. We currently sit second, 1 point behind Manchester United and level on points with Arsenal. But there's only 3 points separating 1st to 5th, so it's much tighter this season. Wow, lads. Wow. We went 6 from 6 in the Champions League in a group consisting of Inter and Bayern. Every single game we won. And we will take on... Oh my God. We will take on Rangers in the round of 16. Rangers versus Celtic in a Champions League round of 16. That's surely got to be one of the biggest Old Firm derbies of all time. And you know we're going to have to simulate them live, lads. We're going to have to. So we have arrived at the first leg of the round of 16 of the Champions League against Rangers in the Old Firm. Let's simulate it now, lads, and see if we can get the win. Come on, Greens. Yes, get in there. We win 3-0 at Ibrox. And to be honest with you, lads, we absolutely smashed them. I fully expect us to be in the quarterfinals now. So it's time for the second leg, lads. We've got a 3-0 lead, and I'm very sure we're dumping Rangers at the Champions League here. Let's get the simulation done, and we win 2-1, beating them 5-1 in aggregate. We're into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So we're at the end of the season, lads, and we finished 3rd in the Premier League on 79 points, 2 points off eventual winners Arsenal. But we only lost 3 times all season. It was ultimately drawing games that held us back from winning the title again. We did not manage to retain our FA Cup crown. We didn't even make the final. We were knocked out in the round of 16 by Millwall on penalties. But lads, we have made the Champions League final where we are taking on AS Monaco. After we dispatched Rangers, we beat Borussia Dortmund 4-3 over 2 legs, and then we went on to beat Paris Saint-Germain 4-2 over 2 legs to set up a tie with AS Monaco. And I mean, just look at that team, lads. It is absolutely stacked with quality players. We have got 5 players in the starting 11 who've cleared 90 rated. We've got 3 players 88 rated, 1 player 89 rated. That team is absolutely unbelievable. In terms of stats, lads, Evan Ferguson was once again our best player, but he did have a bit of a drop off in form, only scoring 36 this season, as opposed to his 51 last season, but still a great season for him. Kvaratskhelia, the world's most expensive player, got 24 goals and 11 assists, a very respectable return. Abada got 23 and 7, O'Reilly 14 and 12, Cornet 13 and 13. Then once again, lads, it does drop off from there. But it is nice to see all our forward players getting over 20 goals though. Now all that's left to do, lads, is take on AS Monaco at Wembley Stadium to try to win Celtic Champions League trophy. So here we go, lads. It is AS Monaco versus Glasgow Celtic for the Champions League trophy. And I'm very sure, lads, this is the first time we've played Monaco in a Champions League final. Or not. Oh, nope. What a save. What a save from Chevalier. We do not want to be going 1-0 down inside the first 20 minutes of the game, and it's another brilliant save from Chevalier. Monaco have started this game on fire. Get it out. Oh my God, how they not scored? Wow, we're 6 minutes into this final and Monaco have had 1 cleared off the line and made Chevalier make 2 amazing saves. Ferguson in the middle. Nice bit of dribbling from Ferguson. Made some space for himself. Our turn for have a shot. And it's blocked, unfortunately. Don't touch it. Thank God for that. I've got a corner. Our first chance to properly attack the Monaco goal after the onslaught in the first 5 minutes. Abada. Oh, that's a good save. Doucouré. I might unleash a beast from here. Oh, it's side netting from Doucouré. Absolutely frantic start to this final, boys. And it is 0-0 going into the 25th minute. Abada passes on to Cornet. Oh, what a save by Ledesma. Ferguson, through the middle. Through the middle, Ferguson. Massive gap. Come on. He's got to score. Got to score. What a save. Oh, my God. What a save from Ledesma. O'Reilly, another good ball here, lad. And I think that's going to get cleared easily. It is going to get cleared. We're going to have a chance to get a shot away, though, with Doucouré. Oh! Oh my God! Hit Doucouré from 30 yards in the Champions League final, and it is 1-0 to Celtic. Wow, that is the kind of goal that wins you a Champions League trophy. The ball just falls to him from a corner. They don't get out to him quick enough. And from 30 yards, he just rifles it into the top corner. And we'll take a 1-goal lead into the half-time. We rid the early storm, lads. Chevalier made some huge saves. We got a foothold, and we find ourselves 1-0 up thanks to an absolute wonder goal from Doucouré. Or not. Oh, they've equalised. Oh, for God's sake, it's underneath Chevalier. And Colombo makes it 1-1 in the Champions League final. It's really poor defending, to be fair. I get done by an easy ball roll. And how has that ball found its way through? Does it take a deflection? I think it takes a deflection off Soutalo. I do think, you know, the goalkeeper's saving that. Oh my. No way. What were our defence doing? And it skipped the replay. Colombo makes it 2-1. It's the game's been turned on its head. Oh my God, come on. O'Reilly. Ferguson, get in there. 2-2. Evan Ferguson. This game is going to give me a heart attack. Kvaratskhelia, Ferguson. Oh, that's good. Oh my God. 85th minute. Kvaratskhelia about to make a run. No, we've done it. No way. No way. Can't lie. This has been the hardest Champions League final I've ever played. We've somehow managed to turn the game round. Kvaratskhelia, a £200 million man, gives us a 3-2 lead. Comes from a defensive mistake and he just curls it past the goalkeeper. From 2-1 down to 3-2. What a final this has been. We've won it, lads. Get in there. I cannot believe how mad of a final that were. 1-0 up thanks to a Decore screamer. Colombo turns the game on its head and puts Monaco 2-1 up. And then Evan Ferguson and Kvaratskhelia strike in added time. Turned me into a robot, left me speechless when Kvaratskhelia scored. And all that's left to do is watch our day one O'Reilly, been here since season 1, lift the Champions League trophy for Celtic. And Celtic are the champions of Europe. And that's another rebuild successfully boxed off. Ever since being relegated from Serie A in 2017, Palermo have had it rough. Despite an 11th place finish in Serie B in 2019, they were relegated all the way down to Serie D due to financial mismanagement. And if you think relegation to Serie D is bad enough, Palermo have never ever won the Coppa Italia and they've never won the Serie A. So it is time to bring some success and glory to Palermo FC. So before we get into today's video, lads, I just want to say a massive Merry Christmas to all the subscribers who do celebrate Christmas. Now, if you want to see me rebuild someone in the AFC, let me know in the comment section down below and I will get round to rebuilding them. And if you enjoy this content, boys, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channels. It really helps me out. We are so close now to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get Palermo rebuilt. So this is the Palermo team we've loaded into, lads, and do you know what? I was expecting it to be a lot worse. We've actually got some very good players at the club like Di Francesco, Ronori and Insigne. And on first inspection, lads, I actually quite like this formation, so we're going to stick with this formation for the rebuild. Now, I do have one major issue with this Palermo team. The bulk of the squad is over 25 years old as we scroll through. So one thing we are going to have to do in this rebuild is bring some youth into the football club and get it done quickly as well. However, we will not have the option to do that at least until January the 1st, as the first summer transfer window is always disabled in these rebuilds. So the tactical vision we're going to go for in this rebuild, lads, is the wing play tactical vision. We've not yet used it and I want to have an emphasis on really good attacking play down the flanks. So that will mean having very good fullbacks and very good wingers at Palermo. So I've had a play about with the starting 11, lads, and this is the team we're going to take going to January the 1st, and I think it looks really good on paper for a Serie B side. However, there are some players in this squad who are aging that we do need to replace going forward. But for the time being, I'm hoping this team can sneak us at least into the playoffs. When we arrive in January, lads, and we can start bringing some players in, we'll have €8 million to do it, which is not actually too bad. So if we arrive at January the 1st, lads, and we currently sit top of Serie B, 3 points clear of second place Parma, and we are 7 points clear of third place Como, lads. What a season we are having as Palermo manager. Now on the run up to January, lads, we did have one outgoing. Francesco Di Mariano has joined Cremonese for €2.3 million as he handed in a transfer request, meaning we have got €10 million to improve our squad in this window. Now the first position that I want to improve, lads, is the centre midfielder position because it's the lowest rated in the squad. Henderson's only here on loan for the season. Gomez, while being a decent young midfielder, isn't the highest of overalls, and Stulak is 71 rated and 29 years old. So I want to bring in a centre midfielder who's better than all of them, who's also got high potential as well. We've had one more outgoing, lads. Nicolo Valente will join Wolfsburg at AC when his contract expires in the summer. We're also going to be letting Ivan Marconis and Adnan Kanuric's contracts expire, as well as they're both not good enough to play for Palmero. So I said I wanted a centre midfielder who was better than all the ones we currently have and who also has insane potential, and we have brought one in, lads, and we've used Stwalic as part of the deal. We have signed Eduardo Bo from Roma for €8.5 million plus Leo Stwalic. He's 21 years old and 785 rated, lads. What a pickup this is. And that leaves us with €730,000, lads, so our transfer window is done, meaning this will be the Palermo team to take us through to the end of the season, and I think that looks much stronger in the middle of the park now I've had it involved. So with our transfer window finished, lads, we're now simulating forward to the end of the season, and I just hope we're playing Serie A football next season. So we've reached the end of the season, lads, and as you can see, we won the Serie B title, finishing 5 points clear of second place Parma. Palermo are playing Serie A football next season. So this will be the Palermo team that takes us into Serie A, lads, and to be honest with you, we definitely need to improve in a few positions. I would like 2 new fullbacks at least, as they are not good enough for Serie A football, and I'd also like to bring in a very young, high potential winger as well. Our best player this season, lads, was club captain Matteo Brunori. He got 16 goals and 3 assists in 38 games. Very closely followed by Federico Di Francesco, who got 16 goals and 7 assists and Roberto Insigne, who got 14 goals and 8 assists. We also had a decent run in the Coppa Italia, lads. We got to the round of 16 where we were beaten by AC Milan. There's no shame in that. So let's jump into Season 2, lads, and attack the Serie A. We've arrived in Season 2, lads, and we've got a measly 16 million euros to improve our squad. But it looks like, lads, we're going to have to sell some players in order to gather some funds. So, lads, you may recall last season I said I wanted a new striker, and I have found the man, Lorenzo Luca, a 6'7", 23-year-old Italian striker. He's 74 rated. He's got very good potential. We are bringing him to Palermo this summer. And for 7.1 million euros, lads, Lorenzo Luca is a Palermo player. And as Insigne is 74 rated and 30-year-old, lads, I feel like I want an improvement in the right winger position. So we have identified Facundo Palestri to replace him, lads. He's 73 rated and 22-year-old, and I expect him to be an amazing signing for us. And for just 6 million euros, lads, Palestri is now a Palermo player. Now, I know what you're thinking, lads. Scott, you said you wanted to bring in some fullbacks. Well, at the minute, we are going through the process of selling some players, and we have got a lot to sell, by the way. And all the funds we raise with them sales, we are going to use to bring in a left back and a right back, and that will see our window done. And lads, I've just noticed that Christopher Hansen, our 72 rated left back, is only 22 years old, so I'm going to give him another season to develop. So we're only going to be focusing on a right back, lads. So we've managed to raise some funds, lads, and there has been some outgoings. Giacomo Corona has joined Whitecaps FC for 2.5 million. Eduardo Solieri has joined FC Famalicão for 2 million euros. Manfredi Nespola has joined Lodz for 460k. Giuseppe Aurelio has joined Norwich for 2.9 million euros. Roberto Insigne has joined Sassuolo for 6 million euros. Jeremy Bro has joined Al Shabab for 1.35 million euros. Ales Matadou has joined Lecce for 1.85 million. And finally, Dario Saric has joined Stuttgart for 3.65 million, meaning we've got 20 million euros to bring in a right back. And I've identified Amar Dedic as our right back target. He's 21 years old, 76 rated, and has got immense potential in this game. And for 16.5 million euros, lads, Dedic is a Palermo player. And that leaves us with just 2 million euros, so that means our transfer window's finished. Meaning this will be the Palermo team to take us through to January the 1st, lads, and I think we've got a really, really good side on paper there, and I think staying up should not be an issue. So there's going to be no more incomings and no more outgoings in this window, lads. We're going to be simulating forwards to January the 1st, and I'm just hoping to see Palermo sat mid-table. So if we arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we're currently sitting 9th in Serie A, we have had an outstanding start to the season. I genuinely could not have asked for a better start to life in the Serie A. Now, given the fact we've only got 2 million euros to spend, lads, we're not going to be bringing anyone in this window. We're going to be simulating forwards to the end of the season, and I'd just be happy to retain a mid-table place, lads. So we've reached the end of the season, lads, and we finished 9th in Serie A on 52 points, and we were only 8 points off a European place. I think it's safe to say, lads, that our first season back in Serie A was a massive success. Now, looking at the team, lads, we had some excellent growth this season with both hitting 80 rated, the first Palermo player to hit 80 rated of the rebuild. We also had excellent growth from our three new boys, Luca, Palestri and Dedic. And as well as that, Di Francesco at 30 years old grew by 4 overalls this season. He's a beast. So it's safe to say, lads, the squad is looking very competitive now, but going into next season, I definitely want to bring in a new centre-back and a new centre midfielder. In terms of stats, lads, Lorenzo Luca had a brilliant season, getting 25 goals and 5 assists in 39 games. And at 6'7", I reckon most of them were headers. And heading into season 3, lads, I think if we bring the right personnel in, we could definitely push for a Conference League spot. And we had a very, very poor run in the Coppa Italia, lads. We only got to the 3rd round where we were beaten 3-2 by Genoa. So we have arrived in season 3, lads, and we have got 32 million euros to spend. Now, admittedly, that's not a lot, so we're going to have to be very, very sensible with our transfers this summer. So given the fact, lads, we've got European aspirations this season and the funds are so limited, I've had to turn my attention to the free agents list, and I have found an absolutely unbelievable regen centre-back. We have brought in Giulio Berardi on a 5-year deal. Berardi's 18 years old and 76 rated, lads, and he goes straight into our starting 11. So I had a bit of a thought, lads, and I decided I want to keep the bulk of this Palermo team Italian. And we have found a very, very exciting young centre midfielder in the French league in Cher Undor. We've already had a 9 million euro fee agreed with him, and I'm going to bring him into Palermo this summer. And just like that, lads, Cher Undor is a Palermo player. We've brought in another high potential Italian centre midfielder, lads, and this time he joins us from Ajax. We have signed Patrick Nuama for 2.3 million euros, lads, and he will be a backup this season. He's 19-year-old and 68 rated, lads, and he's got excellent potential in this year's FIFA. Now, after those 3 incomings, lads, we're still left with 17 million euros, and I do want one more centre-back in this window. So as you can see, lads, we have been busy scouting centre-backs from all walks of the planet. However, we have decided we're going to try to bring in Zeno Dibas from Herenveen. We're going to want between 12.7 and 15.9 million euros, lads, so I think we can make this deal happen. And we have brought Zeno Dibas to Palermo for 13.2 million euros. We've also made one final signing of the summer, lads. We had no left midfield backup at all, so we have brought in Oscar Pereira on a free contract. And now we are left with just 5 million euros, so I can't see us bringing anyone else in for that kind of money. Meaning this will be the Palermo team to take us into season 3, lads, and I am very, very excited to see this team in action. We haven't brought in any world-class players, but we have brought in players with very, very high potential who could reach 80 rated this season. As in season 1, one thing I said was I want to bring the average age of the squad down, and we've done that massively. Other than Di Francesco and Piglicelli, lads, the entire starting 11 is under 24 years old. I think we've done amazing to get the team so young. So we've reached deadline day, lads, and besides some youth players going out on loan and ultimately being sold, we've had one notable outgoing to bring you up to date with. Pietro Cesarone has joined Leicester City for 2.9 million euros, lads, and that is our transfer window finished. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and honestly, I'm a little bit shocked. We are currently second in Serie A, 1 point behind tabletop in Napoli on 39 points, and we are 6 points clear of 5th place Juventus, meaning we are rooted into the Champions League places. And looking at the team, lads, a lot of players have now at 8 to 8, but that is not a mind-blowing team on paper. Like, you'd expect that team to be like a Conference League level side, definitely not second in Serie A. Now, unfortunately for us, we do only have 8 million euros, so we won't be bringing anyone in this window. So I'm just hoping that we can keep up this impressive form and actually clinch Champions League. But lads, even if we drop down to a Conference League, I'll still be happy. I just want to be in Europe next season. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and I cannot quite believe what I'm looking at. We actually managed to secure 4th place in Serie A, and we are playing Champions League football next season. We narrowly beat Juventus by 1 point to the final Champions League place, lads. I am so happy with our performance this season, and this is the Palermo team that will take us into the Champions League next season. And as you can see, both Gomez, Luca, Palestri, Dedic, Berardi and Debast, everyone really has had excellent growth at this season. Going into next season though, lads, we are going to have to improve the squad and get it Champions League ready. We definitely need a better goalkeeper than Piglicelli, and if I'm honest, lads, the rest of the team's growing so well, I might just put every single resource we have into bringing in a world-class goalkeeper. Now, our standout performer this season was Facundo Palestri, getting 23 goals and 3 assists, closely followed by Federico Di Francesco. He got 22 goals and 13 assists at 31 years of age. This guy is just getting better and better with age. We performed slightly better in the Coppa Italia, getting to the quarterfinals where Roma knocked us out 4-2. So let's get into season 4, lads, and see how Palermo get on in the Champions League. So we've arrived in season 4, lads, and we've got 87 million euros to improve our squad. I'm going to have fun with this money. So as you know, lads, we're in the market for a goalkeeper, and I've found the target I want to bring in. Marco Carnesecchi, an 84 rated 26-year-old goalkeeper currently earning his trade in the Premier League. I want to bring him back to Italy. And for 48 million euros plus Piglicelli, we have brought Marco Carnesecchi back to Italy, and he's going to be our first choice goalkeeper. We made another incoming, lads. We've brought in Junior Firpo on a free contract on a 2-year deal just to give us some defensive cover for this season. Now, we do still have 40 million euros of our transfer budget remaining, lads. And although he's been an amazing servant for us, Federico Di Francesco's development plan is now showing that he's going to start decreasing in overall, and it's going to be happening within the next couple of weeks. Therefore, I'm thinking, lads, we might have to bring in a new left winger to replace Di Francesco as he's on the way down. So, lads, we have identified a left winger we want to bring into the football club, and it is Matteo Cancellieri from Lazio. He's 79 rated and 24-year-old, so he's a little bit of a downgrade on Di Francesco right now, but I've got no doubt he'll grow into be an excellent player. And for 23.4 million euros, lads, Cancellieri is a Palermo player. And after the signing of Cancellieri, lads, we do still have 24 million euros, but I don't think with that money we're going to bring anyone in who actually makes our first team better. Meaning this will be the Palermo team to take us into season 4 on our first season in the Champions League. And to be honest with you, lads, I know it's not the best looking team on paper for Champions League level, but I do think we can give a good account of ourselves and at least get through the groups. And we have had a few outgoings to get you up to date with, lads. Inut Nedosiru joined Braga for 4.25 million. Jacobo Segre joined Genoa for 2.75 million. Matteo Brunori joined Fenerbahce for 6.5 million euros. And a few youth academy players went on loan as well. So there'll be no more incomings or outgoings at least until January the 1st. Our first Champions League group as Palermo bosses in, lads, and we've got PSG, Ajax and Shakhtar Donetsk. It's safe to say we have got the group of death this time round. So let's simulate forward to January the 1st and see if we got through the group of death. So we're after January the 1st, lads, and we currently sit 4th in Serie A, just 4 points off tabletop and Inter Milan. We're once again smashing it in the Serie A. However, lads, it is disappointment in the Champions League. We ended up finishing 3rd. Shakhtar Donetsk and PSG absolutely dominated the group. That means we are playing Europa League football, and we have been drawn to FC Porto in the preliminary round of the Europa League. Now, we have got 23 million euros, lads, but I don't actually think we can use that money to bring in anyone who actually comes in and makes a starting 11 better, so we're going to save that money for next season. We've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and we have just snuck into the Champions League places once again, finishing in 4th place, 1 point clear once again of Roma, and we are playing Champions League football again next season. And we have won our first piece of silverware of the Palermo rebuild. We have beaten Inter Milan 2-1 to win the Coppa Italia, lads, and this is Palermo's first ever major honour. What a moment. However, we could not make the Europa League final as we were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Inter Milan 2-1. Now, this is how the starting 11 is looking at the end of the season, lads, and as you can see, we've had excellent growth from Debast, Berardi and Dortmund Gomez. They've all reached 80 plus potential, but the main grower of this season, lads, is Carnesecchi, the goalkeeper. He has grown to 88 overall. What a beast he is, and what an amazing pickup for just 48 million. Now, in terms of stats, lads, Lorenzo Luca regained his title as top scorer, getting 36 goals and 14 assists. Facundo Palestri had a great season, getting 20 goals and 6 assists, and Dor is definitely adding goals and assists to his game, getting 16 and 11, and Eduardo Bov also had a good season, getting 13 and 10. So the goals are starting to trickle through the entire team now, lads, and the midfielders are starting to get in on the act, which is exactly what we need. Now, going into next season, lads, I think it's glaringly obvious where we need to improve the squad. Hansen needs to be replaced in the left back position, and do you know what, what, lads? Cancellieri just has not worked this season. He's only grown by 2 overalls. He didn't score many goals, and I'm thinking maybe we should bring in a left winger to replace him. So we've arrived in season 5, lads, and we've got 133 million euros to spend. So as we know, lads, we're in the market for a left back, and I've identified 85 rated Italian left back Fabinho Parisi as our main target. And for a club record 72.8 million euros, Parisi is coming to Palermo. And boys, you're not going to believe it. We recently negotiated a new contract with Eduardo Bove, and I didn't realise there was a release clause in it, and Crystal Palace of all clubs have paid a release clause of 115 million euros, meaning Bove is now a Crystal Palace player, and we've got to bring in a centre midfielder. However, every cloud does have a silver lining, lads, and we have got 153 million euros to bring in his replacement. And to replace Bove, we have identified one of the best centre midfielders in the world, Fabio Moretti, 86 rated Italian, 23 years old, and he currently plays for Aston Villa. However, it's going to use up the bulk of our budget to bring him to Palermo. And for a whopping 114.5 million euros, lads, Fabio Moretti is a Palermo player. And after the signing of Moretti, lads, we're left with 33 million euros. And that means, lads, it's good news for Cancellieri because we cannot afford to bring in a better left winger than him, so he's got one more chance to impress me. We've reached deadline day, lads, and besides the sale of Bove, we only had one other outgoing to bring you up to date with. Junior Firpo joined Genoa for 6.2 million euros as he ended in a transfer request. That's our transfer window finished, lads. And our Champions League group is in, lads, and it is an interesting one. We've got Liverpool, Union Berlin, and Victoria Pleasant. We need to be getting through that group, as going in the group stages at this stage of the rebuild is just not acceptable. We've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we've had a very disappointing start to the season. We currently sit 5th in a Europa League spot. However, we are only 1 point outside of the top 4 and only 5 points off top of the league, so we've got to buck up in the second half of the season and actually be challenging for the title. However, we had much more success in the Champions League, lads. We finished 2nd in our group despite finishing on 15 points. Liverpool top the group, and we will play none other than Manchester City in the round of 16. It does not get much harder than that, does it? However, there is some good news, lads, as we won the Super Cup, beating Inter Milan 2-0 in the final, winning our 2nd trophy of the rebuild. We've reached the end of the transfer window, lads. We've had one outgoing. Patrick Nwame has joined Genoa on loan till the end of the season, and there's been no incomings, lads. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and we've finished 4th in Serie A. We just cannot crack the league title, can we? 4 points off tabletop in AC Milan, but we are narrowing down the distance between us and the top of the league every single season. And we completed a domestic double, lads, once again beating Napoli in the final. This time we've won the Coppa Italia again. However, we could not reach the Champions League final as AC Milan will take on Bayern Munich. We made the semi-finals where we were knocked out by AC Milan 4-2 over 2 legs. I'm absolutely gutted, lads. But we have had some major growth. Some of the players in our starting 11 like Palestri, Luca, Miretti and Dor. So the squad looks really strong on paper, lads. Going into season 6 though, I do think we need a new left winger to replace Cancellieri, and I wouldn't mind bringing in a new centre back to replace Berardi as well. In terms of stats, lads, Lorenzo Luca was by far our best player, getting 34 goals and 15 assists. He's been an absolute monster in this rebuild. Facundo Palestri had a great season again, getting 25 goals and 7 assists. But let's just talk about Fabio Moretti. In his first season for Palermo, got 21 goals and 8 assists from centre midfield. So getting into season 6, lads, we need to improve the first team and start challenging for the Serie A title, because we've not won it yet. So we've arrived in season 6, lads, and we've got 177 million euros to spend, and we need to spend that money wisely. But lads, as you know, we've got 178 million euros to spend, and I really want to bring in a new left winger. And AC Milan just win the Serie A every single season, so I need to make them weaker in the process. So we have identified the best player, Rafael Leao, 91 rated 29-year-old left winger, as our primary target of the summer. And for a whopping 157.9 million euros, Rafael Leao is a Palermo player, and that deal leaves us with just 16 million euros, so it's safe to say our transfer window is done, meaning this will be the Palermo team to take us through to January the 1st, and I think that team looks amazing on paper. Now, unfortunately, we did not have enough money left over to bring in a new centre back, but that doesn't matter, lads. I think with that attacking free, we've got such a good chance to get into the Champions League final and even winning Serie A. We've reached the end of the transfer window, lads, and the rest of them going to bring you up to date with. Alessio Botaro has joined Sporting CP on loan for the season, and Christopher Hansen has handed in a transfer request, so he's gone to Lecce for 21 million euros, bringing a close to our transfer window. Now, our Champions League group is in, lads, and it's not easy. We've got Atletico Madrid, Galatasaray and Genk. So we have arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we currently sit 2nd in the Serie A, 1 point off tabletop in Roma. There's a genuine chance we could actually win the Serie A this season. We also breezed through our Champions League group, lads, 3 wins, 3 draws, and we will take on AS Monaco in the round of 16. That's not a bad draw, you know. And we've also retained the Super Cup, lads. We beat AC Milan 4-3 in a pulsating final. So we've reached the end of the transfer window, lads. We've had no outgoings and no incomings, so we're simulating forward to the end of the season right now. We've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and we have won our first ever Serie A title and the first Serie Serie A title of Palermo's history, finishing 10 points clear of second place Inter Milan, losing just twice all season. What a performance from Palermo FC. And they may as well change the name of the Coppa Italia to the Palermo Cup. We've won it for the 3rd consecutive season, beating Juventus 1-0 in the final. And lads, we're in the Champions League final and we're playing RB Leipzig. So we breezed past Monaco, beating them 4-1 over 2 legs. Then we got another favourable draw in the quarterfinals, getting Bayer Leverkusen, who we beat 6-3 over 2 legs. And then lads, luck just must be on our side, because look at the last 4 of the Champions League: Celtic, Leipzig and Atletico Club. We beat Atletico Club 2-1 over 2 legs to set up a final with RB Leipzig. And do you know what, lads? I really fancy our chances here. So this is the starting 11 that has got us to a Champions League final, won us our first Serie A title and won us 3 consecutive Coppa Italias. And I have to say, lads, it is absolutely monstrous on paper. So it's no surprise that this team has dominated Italian football and got to the Champions League final. And before we get into the final, lads, we will check over the stats. And Lorenzo Luca retains his crown as top scorer, getting 38 goals and 6 assists. But Facundo Palestri has added a lot of goals to his game, scoring 32 goals and 9 assists. Rafael chipped in with 18 goals and 9 assists, and Cher Undor chipped in with 14 and 11. So some very, very good returns there from our players. And all that's left to do, lads, is to play against RB Leipzig at the San Siro for the Champions League trophy. Let's get this trophy won, boys. So here we go, lads. It is RB Leipzig versus Palermo for the Champions League trophy. And you might have noticed, lads, I have actually got a bit of a dodgy left eye because I've recently had steel in it. So hopefully that doesn't put me off too much. Leo. Look at the... Oh my God, look at the pace of Leo. Look at the pace of Leo. Oh my God, it's 5 minutes in, lads. It's 5 minutes in. We're 5 minutes into the final and Leo has just done that. That's why we paid the big bucks for him, lads. That's why we brought world record transfer fees to bring him in. Watch this from Leo. The pace, they cannot get near him. Too quick for all of them. Gets into the box and he just places it straight past Onana. 1-0 to Palermo. In a bad position as well. Gusto's in.
Nope.
What a tackle. I've tackled my own player. What am I doing? What am I doing?
Nope.
What a save. Get a foot in. Oh my God. What a save again by Karnasechi. Wow. That's why he's 90 rated, lads. That's why he signed 90 rated goalkeepers. Here's me saying we're going to have an easy final against Leipzig. They're absolutely smashing us. Oh dear. Foot in. Oh, that's a big save again. He's wasted. That's 3 huge chances for Leipzig in like half an hour. Luca. Oh my God. What are we doing? And Palestri. And Palestri's away. Oh, Palestri, that's amazing. Oh, my God. Tell you what, lads, Leipzig have been brilliant, to be fair. Karnasechi is the reason why we're winning. And it's half-time, lads. We are 1-0 up, but we have been riding our luck in this first half. Leipzig will feel hard done by that. They're not on level terms, at least. They were 45 minutes away from Champions League glory, but I do feel like Leipzig are going to create more chances. And Joe. Luca. Oh, God, what a goal this will be. Onana. Wow. Wow, Onana. That is a big, big moment in this final. Oh, my God. Right, this is a big chance. Leo's in. I need someone past 2. Luca. Oh my God, Onana. Karnasechi in the first half, Onana in the second half. What are these keepers on? We're on 65 minutes, lads. It has been an entertaining end-to-end final. There's only 1 goal in it. I'm starting to get a bit nervous, you know. Berardi, overhead kick. Oh my God. Debast. Oh my God. Can you imagine if that went in? Luca. Right, come on. Oh my God. I'm going for a dink as well.
Finish him. KO.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Nah, that is the best goal we've scored in the Champions League final yet, lads. Oh my God. Are you joking me? That was disgusting from Luca. Wow. Leipzig have made chances in this game, so it's definitely not over. What a tackle. What a tackle from Dedic. That's how you stop an attack, lads. That is how you stop an attack. Get through them. Adley whips it in. Oh my God. There's me saying what a tactical fellow that is. Well, Leipzig have got one back, and it's going to be an interesting final 10 minutes. And it's a really good header as well. It's right into the side netting. Keeper's got no chance. And, well, we've got 5 minutes to hold on. Carlos Augusto with the goal. And it don't matter, lads. It's full time. We have won the Champions League with Palermo. And, Jesus, that was an intense final. Here's me. We're going to have an easy final against Leipzig. Wow, that was a hard game. A piece of Lorenzo Luca brilliance. is what brings the Champions League back to Palermo. From Serie B to the Champions League final, Claudio Gomez will lift the Champions League trophy for Palermo. And Palermo are the champions of Europe, boys. Get in there. And that's another successful rebuild in the bag, lads. When you think of the Primera Division, you think of clubs like Porto, Benfica, Sporting CP and Braga. But what about clubs like Vitória SC, who have a vast and rich history dating back 100 years? Currently sat 5th in the division and 4 points off a European place, it's safe to say Vitória are heading in the right direction. However, as Ricardo has suggested, we are going to be jumping into AFC and rebuilding Vitória FC and making them European champions. Remember, if you want to see me rebuild any club in AFC, let me know in the comment section down below and I will get round to rebuilding them at some point. And also, don't forget to like the video so it gets more engagement, and subscribe to the channel as we are very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get Vitória rebuilt. So this is the Vitória team we've loaded into, lads, and do you know what? I was expecting a lot worse than this. We have actually got some very, very good players like Silva, and Silva. However, I can't lie, lads, I'm not a fan of this formation, so this is getting changed ASAP. So because we have a vast number of centre-backs already at the club, lads, we're going to go with a 3-4-1-2 formation, which I think gets the best out of our current couple of players. And there's absolutely no way I could come to the Portuguese league and not use a tiki-taka style of play. And one thing that does massively encourage me, lads, is the squad is actually very, very young. There's a lot of room to develop this very, very young squad. However, lads, we cannot make any alterations to our squad until January the 1st, because in these rebuilds, we always disable the first transfer window. And when we do arrive in January, lads, we'll have 7 million euros to improve our squad. So we've sorted the formation, sorted the starting 11 and sorted the playing style. We've got nothing left to do but simulate forward to January the 1st, and let's see how Vitória are getting on in season 1. So if we're out at January the 1st, lads, now I know Vitória are a good side given the fact they're 5th in the league in real life, but we're actually 4th in season 1, playing 16 games and we've lost 3 times all season. We're only 6 points off a Champions League spot. We're firmly cemented in the Europa League position. We could not have asked for a better start as Vitória manager, and I'm a little bit confused by it. And look at the starting 11, lads, we've had some very good growth from our 2 star players, attacking midfielder Silva and striker Silva, both going to 75 rated. Now look at the starting 11. Where do we need to improve? Well, we need another striker to replace Safira, and I'm thinking about bringing in a centre midfielder to replace Andre as he's retiring at the end of the season. We've identified our first transfer target of this Vitória SC rebuild, and do you know what, lad? It's a Premier League forgotten man. Now, if you saw Dele Alli's interview with Gary Neville, it was absolutely heartbreaking, and it was a real eye-opener at what the professional footballers do actually sometimes go through. He's 27-year-old, 74 rated, and Everton would only be looking for 4.9 to 6 million pounds from him. I think this could be a very, very solid pickup for Vitória SC. And for just 4.9 million euros, lads, Dele Alli is joining Vitória SC. So we've reached deadline day, lads, and there has been some outgoings to bring you up to date with. Rafael Oliveira has joined Dundee FC for £550,000. Adrian Butsk has joined FC Copenhagen on loan till the end of the season. Zikalos has joined Besiktas on loan till the end of the season. Goncalo Nogueira has joined Kayserispor on loan till the end of the season. And we have sold Mikel Villanueva to Fiorentina for 3.5 million euros, meaning we have got 6 million euros to bring in a striker, and I've found just who I want. We have identified Rodrigo Ribeiro from Sporting CP as our primary striker target. He's 18-year-old and 70 rated, lads, and he'd be a great fit for our team. And we have brought in Rodrigo Ribeiro for 3.5 million euros from Sporting CP. And I think after bringing in Ali and Ribeiro, we've definitely added a little bit more quality to the squad, and I'm just hoping we can maintain our current league position. So we have arrived at the end of the season 1, lads, and we have secured Conference League football as we have finished 5th in Liga Portugal, just 1 point off a Europa League spot. And I have to say, lads, that has took me by surprise. We have had an excellent season. Now, in terms of growth, lads, no player has really had any significant growth this season other than Silva in the centre attacking midfielder position. Going forward into next season, lads, I want to improve both winger positions, as Margaret is actually a right wing back and Mangas is 26-year-old and 70 rated, so we definitely need to improve them areas. And I also want to bring in a very, very solid centre back as well. Now, in terms of stats, lads, Andre Silva was our best player this season, getting 17 goals and 9 assists. Alisson Safira had a good season as well, getting 11 goals and 1 assist. And I'm very, very happy with Dele Alli, lads. He got 8 goals and 3 assists in just 18 games. He turned out to be a great signing for us. Now, unfortunately, our performance in the Taka Portuguesa was absolutely shocking. We were beaten round 1 by Sporting CP 3-1, and Benfica went on to win it. And before we head into season 2, lads, the next generation of Vitória wonder kids is currently sitting in our academy. Diogo Mercado and Elugio Miranda look like they are going to be key players in this rebuild. We just need to wait for them both to get to 16, get them in the first team, get them out on loan, then start integrating them into the starting 11. We'll also be saying goodbye to Kelton Bi, Jota Pereira, and Andre as they are all leaving the club on expiry of their contract. So we have arrived in season 2, lads, and we have only got 14 million euros to improve our squad, so we're going to have to be very, very thoughtful with our transfers this summer. And unfortunately, lads, we've got a lot of contracts to renew this summer, which could really eat away at our transfer budget. Now, before we get on with bringing some players into the football club, lads, we have had quite a few outgoings to get through. El Dassar has joined BSC Young Boys for 3.1 million. Nelson Daluz has joined Montpellier for 1.7 million. Goalkeeper Charles has joined Hull City for 970k. Academy graduate Joaquim Ribeiro has joined Cremonese on loan. Alison Safira has joined Ghent for 1.65 million. Wonder kid Elugio Miranda has joined Famalicão on loan. And Jordi Peters has joined Gaziantep on loan till the end of the season. And finally, the big one, Miguel Maga has joined Sporting CP for 9 million euros, meaning we have now got 27 million euros to improve our squad. And we are wasting absolutely no time in spending this 27 million euros, lads. We've identified our first target of the summer, and it is wonder kid Diego Moriera, the left winger from Chelsea. And Moriera becomes our first signing of the summer, joining the club for 3.7 million euros. Now, moving forward, lads, we are looking to bring in not one, but two young, very high potential centre-backs, and we have decided on Harel Hato from Ajax and Adormo Nagalo from Porto. And we have got our men, boys, the first being Harel Hato. He joins us for 4.4 million euros. And we have brought in Adama Nagalo from Porto for 7 million euros. Now, after those signings, lads, we do still have 9 million euros to our name, and we don't actually have an out-and-out centre-attacking midfielder at the club, so I'm going to have a little scout about, see if I can find a suitable centre-attacking midfielder with very high potential and bring one into the football club. So, lads, one thing I think this Vitória squad was lacking was a little bit of Brazilian flair. So we have brought in a Brazilian centre-attacking midfielder from the Premier League, 4-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. This is an outstanding signing, lads. We have brought in Mateus Franca from Crystal Palace for 6 million euros. Franca is actually 72 rated and not a 71 rated. He joins us on a 5-year deal, and at just 20 years old, he has got so much room to grow. Now, the signing of Franca leaves us with just 5 million euros, which we're going to save till January, meaning this will be the starting 11 that takes us through to January the 1st, and I think that's a very, very strong squad on paper. Before we simulate to January the 1st, lads, let's take a quick look at our Conference League group. We have got Feyenoord, Zurich and Motherwell. Do you know what, lads? It could have been a lot worse than that, and I do actually fancy us to qualify to the knockout stages. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we currently sit 4th in La Liga Portugal, just like last season, but we are only 2 points outside of the Champions League places, sitting firmly in the Europa League spot. Lads have had a great start to the season once again, and we topped our Europa League group, lads, finishing first, 4 wins and 2 defeats. I'm absolutely buzzing with that. However, we have not yet been given an opponent for the round of 16. Look at the starting 11, lads, and we've had some really good growth from Nagalo and Hato. They're looking like very, very good incomings. Silver out on the right wings had a good season as well, so the squad's looking much stronger on paper now, boys. Now, we do have 5 million euros remaining, lads, but we have got some contracts to sort out with that money. As you can see, lads, we need to renew the contracts of 5 players, so that could use up all of our money. So we've managed to tie down most of the players, lads, but Jorge Fernandez and Jota Silva will both not be renewing their contracts as they want to leave the club. That's their loss, not ours. Leaving us with 4 million euros, lads, which we are going to save for next season. We're now going to be simulating forward to the end of the season, and I'm just hoping we manage to keep up our very impressive early season form. So we've reached the end of season 2, lads, and honestly, it's just a mirror image of last season. We finished 5th in Liga Portugal, a full 8 points off 4th place Sporting CP, so we have dipped in the second half of the season, but we are once again going to be playing in the Conference League next season. I think it's really important going forward that we actually bridge the gap between Conference League level and Europa League level. And speaking of the Conference League, lads, I am so impressed with the campaign we had. We got all the way to the semi-finals, being narrowly beaten 2-1 by Napoli. We managed to beat Feyenoord in the quarterfinals, and we managed to beat Lazio in the round of 16. I am so impressed with that campaign. And looking at the starting 11, lads, it is starting to take shape beautifully. Ali Santos and Franca in the midfield are looking excellent, all having excellent growth. Hato and Nagalo had great growth as well. I think that team looks really strong on paper, lads. So going into next season, I want to bring in a new centre-back to replace Fernandez, and I'll likely bring in a new right midfielder as well. However, our wonder kid Elugio Miranda had an outstanding loan spell with Famalicão. He has grown to 69 rated. From the start of next season, he could be around 71 rated, so I'm thinking I might actually use him as our first choice right midfielder next season. In terms of stats, lads, Rodrigo Ribeiro and Andre Silva were joint on goals, getting 17 goals, and they both also got 5 assists as well. But Dele Alli once again had an outstanding season in a Vitória shirt, getting 16 goals and 11 assists. He is back to playing his best football in the Portuguese league. So we've arrived in season 3, lads, and we have got 20 million euros to improve our squad. However, we have got the dreaded finish the season with 3 million euros unspent allocated funds, meaning we've actually got around 15 million euros to improve our squad. Now, as we know, lads, Fernandez and Silva have left the club, so our wonder kid, Eluigio Miranda, is going to be given the opportunity to start at the right midfield position this season, as he has got such good potential, lads. As well as this, lads, we've got a lot of first team players out of contract at the end of the season, and we're going to have to renew some of these deals. That's going to eat away at some of our transfer budget as well. So, lads, we've brought in Fernandez's replacement in the centre-back position, lads, and we've been very, very smart about this deal. We have brought in 19-year-old Francisco Roca from Casapia for €4 million using Zicarlos as part of the deal. Roca is 19 years old, 74 rated, and he slots in nicely at the right side of our defence. Now, after the signing of Roca and renewing multiple contracts, we're left with €16 million, meaning we can probably spend a further €13 million to improve our squad. Now, looking at the team, lads, I think it does look very, very strong, and obviously Miranda is the glaring weak point in the right midfield position, but he's got such high potential. I'm actually going to give him a chance this season. I'm going to give this team another chance this season to try and get into the Europa League at least, mainly because it's growing really, really nicely, lads. It's looking really, really good on paper, and we're also performing. We got to a semi-final of the Conference League last year. We finished 5th 2 seasons in a row. So we have reached transfer deadline day, lads, and we have got 3 outgoings to bring you up to date with. Tony Borevkovic joined Club Bruges for €2 million. Jordi Peters joined Sivasspor for €520,000. Diogo Gomez joined Wickham for €1.15 million. And that is our transfer window completely finished, lads. Our Conference League group is in, lads, and do you know what? This is much, much easier than last season's. We have got Racco, Austria Wien, and Bromby. We have to be getting through that group. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and once again, we find ourselves sat 4th in Liga Portugal on the 1st of January. However, this time we are level on points with 3rd place Benfica and 5th place Sporting CP. So we are actually in touching distance of a Champions League position. Now, we once again topped our Conference League group, lads, which I'm not actually surprised about at all. And hopefully we can once again be successful in the Conference League, maybe even go one step further and win the whole thing. Now, looking at the starting 11, lads, we are having excellent growth from Mateus Franca, Tato, and Negalo. Ribeiro's going very nicely as well. And I do think this will be the season that we actually get an 80 rated player in the squad. Now, unfortunately, we will be losing Thiago Silva and Bruno Gaspar at the end of the season, as they are both retiring. So, like I said at the start of the season, lads, I'm willing to trust these lads to get us into the Champions League places, so we're not going to be making any signings in this January transfer window. So we have arrived at the end of season 3, lads, and as you can see, we finished 2nd in Liga Portugal, clinching Champions League football, and we was only 2 points off tabletop in Benfica. So Vitória SC are playing Champions League football next season. And lads, we got all the way to the Taça Portuguesa final, where Braga beat us 2-1. I'm absolutely gutted about that. Let's hope that we've done better in the Conference League. And we didn't manage to make the final, lads. The final will be between Union Berlin and Tottenham Hotspur, but we did make the semi-finals once again. We were beaten 3-2 by Union Berlin. We managed to knock out Lazio for the 2nd season running in the Conference League. And we also managed to smash Galatasaray 7-4 over 2 legs. So once again, lads, another incredible season as Vitória manager. And we have had our first group of players reach 80 rated this season, lads. Ribeiro's reached 81, Franca 80, Plato 80 as well. Next season, I do expect Moriera, Roca, and Nagalo all to reach 80 rated as well. So the growth in this squad is just absolutely brilliant at the moment. Our best player this season was Rodrigo Ribeiro, getting 30 goals and 20 assists in 48 games. That's 50 goal involvements in just 48 starts. That's incredible. So let's get into season 4, lads, and see how Vitória get on in the Champions League. So we've arrived in season 4, lads, and we have only got €30 million to get Vitória Champions League ready. And we once again have some key first team players out of contract in the summer, lads. So that's going to eat up some of our budget as well. So far in this rebuild, lads, the board have not really got involved too much. But this season, they've put the foot down. They want us to win the league title, and they want us to sign players under 20 years old with very high potential. So it's safe to say, lads, the pressure is on this season. We have got to deliver. So before we get into any incomings, lads, we have had some major outgoings to bring you up to date with. Jerry Mendes joined Famalicão for €1.3 million. Ricardo Mangas joined Anderlecht for €2.1 million. Goncalo Nogueira joined Gil Vicente for €1.5 million. Academy graduate Marcio Barros joined Venamo on loan. And the big one, lads, we have cashed in on Andre Silva. He has joined rivals Sporting CP for €31.5 million. €10 million above his market value, meaning we do need a new striker in this window, and that leaves us with €61 million to improve our squad. So lads, we've identified Andre Silva's replacement, and once again, a bit like Dele Alli, this is another punt that could either pay off massively or massively backfire. We have gone for Fabio Silva from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now, this man was tipped to be one of the best strikers in the planet, but he has just not lived up to that potential at all, so we're going to bring him back to his home country of Portugal, and a bit like Dele Alli, give him a second chance. He's 24 24-year-old, 81 rated, and I think he'll fit into our squad nicely. And we have confirmed the signing of Fabio Silva for 35 million euros. Now, after the signing of Silva, lads, we are left with 27 million euros. And my original plan for this transfer window was to bring in a centre midfielder, but do you know what, lads? I've changed my mind. I'm going to bring in a new goalkeeper to replace Varela, because he's 31-year-old and 77 rated, lads, and I think there's going to be much better options out there with the money we have. Now, lads, I have scoured the transfer market, and I just cannot find a goalkeeper to bring in with the 27 million euros we have that actually improves on Varela, and we can actually afford him. No, Ricardo did suggest Guilherme Restes. He's currently at Everton, and he is well out of our price range, but this is a goalkeeper I want to bring into Vitória SC, so that could be a position we go back and look into next season. In all honesty, lads, the squad does look good on paper. I think I'm going to leave it with just the one incoming for this window in Fabio Silva and just see how we're getting on in the run up to January. And when we do get to January, if I need to make improvements to the squad, I've got 27 million euros to do it. Our first ever Champions League group is in, lads, and Jesus, it's not looking good, bruv. We've got PSG, Real Sociedad, and Rangers. Do you know what? I'll be amazed if we get through that group. So we've arrived in January the 1st, lads, and as you can see, we are sitting pretty at the top of the Liga Portugal, 1 point clear of second place Benfica, and we've only conceded 13 goals all season. We couldn't have asked for a better start in the league, lads. However, our Champions League campaign was a completely different story. We ended up finishing third, only winning 1 of our 6 games. I knew it were going to be an hard group, lads, but finishing third, that means we've dropped down to the Europa League, so hopefully we can kick on in the Europa League, and we will take on OGC Nice in the preliminary round of the Europa League. Now, looking at the squad, lads, plenty more players have now reached 80 rated, including Roca, Moriera, Ali, which I'm really happy about. Ribeiro and Franca are growing into excellent players, 84 and 83 rated as well. I'm going to stick with what we have until next season, lads. I don't think we need to go out splashing the cash. We're top of the league. We're in the Europa League. Stuff's going well. So we've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and unfortunately we did not manage to win the Liga Portugal. We've once again fell off in the second half of the season, finishing in third place, a whopping 14 points off title winners Sporting CP. We are really struggling to bridge the gap between like the Benficas and Sportings in the league. Like, we're still 14 points behind them. We have got a big summer coming up. However, lads, we did manage to pick up our first piece of silverware of the rebuild, winning the Taça Portuguesa. We managed to win 2-1 in the final, and I do not want to butcher that club's name because my pronunciations are shocking. Now, as you know, we dropped into the Europa League and we did not make the final. Inter Milan won the competition, and we made it all the way, lads, to the semi-final just to be knocked out by Crystal Palace 5-4 in aggregate. I am gutted. Now, looking at the squad, lads, we have got an absolutely incredible squad on paper now. We only have 3 players now in the starting lineup who are under 80 rated, but Miranda will grow to near 90 rated, so I'm not worried about him. Going forward into next season, lads, we want a new goalkeeper and a new centre midfielder, but I'm hoping we're going to have a big budget to do so. Our star player this season was Mateus Franca, getting 32 goals and 18 assists in 54 games. And he was matched by Rodrigo Ribeiro, who got 32 goals and 15 assists in 54 games. So next season, we're back into the Champions League, and I'm just looking for a better overall performance in the league and Champions League. And just to let you know, lads, Manu Silva will join AZ Alkmaar on the expiry of his contract. So we have arrived in season 5, lads, and we've got 47 million euros to spend. And obviously, the board have stuck their nose and they want us to keep salary growth under 10%. And I have made it no secret at all that I want Guilherme Restes at Vitória SC as our goalkeeper. He's 82 rated and 22 years old, lads. We only have 47 million euros in this transfer window, and it's looking like Everton are going to want around 50 million euros. So this deal would use up all of our transfer budget. And for a whopping 44 million euros plus Varela, we have brought in Guilherme Restes. And it's safe to say, lads, we are officially bankrupt. But just look at how much better that team looks with Restes in the goal. I genuinely think, lads, we have got one of the best squads in Portugal at the minute, and with Miranda's rate of growth as well, we could be looking at an entire 80+ rated team by the end of the season. We've reached the end of the transfer window, lads, and the rest might go into being up to date with. Alberto Costa joined FC Cincinnati for 1.4 million euros. Fonzo Freitas joined Aruca for 2.5 million euros. Adrian Butsk joined Ghent for 6.2 million euros, and a wonder kid academy graduate goalkeeper Thiago Pereira has joined Boavista Linz on loan till the end of the season. Our Champions League group will consist of Napoli, Lyon and Malmo FF. That is another very tough group, lads. We're going to have to be at our best to get through that group. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we sit top of Liga Portugal once again, 3 points clear of second place Benfica, only losing 1 from our first 16 games. But I'm not getting my hopes up, lads. We've bottled it from this exact same situation last season. And boys, we've actually managed to qualify qualify from our Champions League group, finishing in second place, and we will take on Paris Saint-Germain in the round of 16. What an achievement for Vittorio SC. And this season, we have seen some massively significant growth in the starting 11. Ribeiro, Franca, and Hato have all reached 87 rated. We've now got a full starting 11 over 80 rated, and they're all growing. I just really can't wait to get money next season and replace Santos. Now, as you know, we did sell quite a few players in the last window, and we were left with 17 million euros. No, we're not going to be spending it in this January window because we've got a lot of contracts to renew, so I'm not expecting any incomings or any outgoings in this window. We've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and as you can see, we have won our first Liga Portugal trophy, finishing a whopping 12 points clear of second place Porto, only losing 2 games all season. It's safe to say, lads, we have had an amazing season this time round, and we have done the domestic double, lads. We have beaten Benfica 4-1 to retain the Taça Portuguesa. What a season. We couldn't make it a treble though, lads, as we're not in the Champions League final. We didn't even make the semis. We were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Juventus 3-2, meaning we actually beat PSG 6-4 over 2 legs. That's an amazing result. Look at the starting 11, lads, and Nestes, Hato, Franca, and Ribeiro have all grown into absolute beasts this season. I think going into next season, though, lads, we definitely need to strengthen in the centre midfield position. Now, our standout player was once again Rodrigo Ribeiro, getting 40 goals and 10 assists in 53 appearances. This guy is an absolute beast. Fabio Silva had a great season, getting 24 goals and 8 assists, and Matheus Franca had an excellent season as well, getting 21 goals and 13 assists. So without further ado, lads, let's get into season 6 and try to win the Champions League. So we've arrived in season 6, boys, and we've got 72 million euros to improve our squad. Our first signing of season 6, lads, is definitely a little bit of star quality we've been lacking in the centre midfield position, and it's a Portuguese player as well. We have signed Matheus Nunes from Manchester City for 44 million euros. We've also had a notable outgoing, lads. Joaquim Ribeiro, our academy graduate, has joined Caligari for 23 million euros, meaning we've still got a further 45 million euros to improve our squad. And to be honest with you, lads, if we can bring in a better centre-back than Nagalo, I'll be made up with this transfer window. I've identified Marquinhos of Borussia Dortmund, 88 rated and 34-year-old, lads, and for 1 or 2 seasons I think this guy could be an amazing signing for us. Now, we have signed Marquinhos for 10 million euros plus Adamo Nagalo, and after the incomings of Marquinhos and Nunes, that team is looking frighteningly good on paper, lads. Could we actually mount a charge for the Champions League this season? So it's transfer deadline day, lads. I think this squad is definitely good enough to challenge for the Champions League trophy this season, so we're not going to be bringing anyone else in. If we do get to January though and we're struggling, we have got 27 million euros to improve the squad. And our Champions League group is in, lads, and we have got Barcelona, Celtic and Shakhtar Donetsk. That's a group we should be getting through. We have arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we have created a monster. We are once again top of Liga Portugal. We are 7 points clear of second place Braga. We've only lost once all season. We've scored 43 goals. We are by far the best team in Portugal, and this team just continues to amaze me. We qualified top of our Champions League group. We didn't lose a single game, and we will take on Liverpool in the round of 16. Is this finally our year in the Champions League? And that starting 11 is genuinely, it's frightening. So we've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and as you can see, we have once again won the Liga Portugal. We are absolutely dominating Portuguese football at the minute, and we only lost 1 game all season, finishing 16 points clear of second place Braga. And lads, I don't believe this. We've won our 3rd consecutive Taça Portuguesa. I have never in all my time rebuilding clubs seen domination just like this. And lads, this is just a cherry on the cake. Oh my god, we are in the Champions League final and we are taking on Marseille. That's a completely new opponent for me, and that squad is looking absolutely beautiful. We've got Restes, Hato, Franca and Ribeiro all over 90 rated. And before we do play the final, lads, it is time to check the stats. And Ribeiro, once again, 40 goals and 11 assists this season. The guy is an absolute monster. He's 92 rated at 24-year-old. Lads, you've got to be picking him up. Fabio Silva as well, getting 39 goals and 11 assists. He had another great season. Franca got 19 and 8, another great season. And Dele Alli, once again, at 33-year-old. What a signing he's been for us. 13 goals and 10 assists. Tell you what, for £4 million, what a pickup he was. And all that's left to do is play that final against Marseille at Old Trafford. So here we go, lads. We're taking on Marseille in the final. Marseille versus Vittoria SC for Champions League glory. It's 2 clubs that you wouldn't really expect to see in a Champions League final, in all honesty. Definitely not Vittoria. Blocked by Marquinhos. If it went quiet, then I thought they were going to score. Franca. My first ever time using Franca and Fabio Silva. So, Silva, Franca. Oh, what an interception. Fair play. That's a great challenge. And Miranda is absolutely away here. It's a great run. Ribeiro. Oh, it's poor header. Lads, I'm sorry to say, there's been no chances. It's half an hour in. A couple of little half chances, but nothing really major, as we break away with Mariota on the wing. Player 1-2 here, Ribeiro, which he does. Puts it back. Miranda, 1-0. What a finish. What a move that were, boys. That was silky, smooth football from Vittoria SC. And the passing on this wing between Ribeiro and Morio was absolutely brilliant. Pulls it across to the penalty spot, and Miranda, our academy graduate, plants the ball into the top corner to make it 1-0 to Vittoria. What a finish that is, by the way. And that, lads, really, on 38 minutes, is the first real chance of this Champions League final. It has been very, very tight. Ends up in the back of the net, and oh, no. Oh, he's put it wide. He's dragged it wide. Mateus Franco. And that's half-time, boys. 1-0 up at half-time. Very even. Not many chances. I'll take it, though, if it stays 1-0. And this time, we will get the kick-off. Come on, the boys. One half of football away from winning the Champions League. Can't lie, lads. Marquinhos has won every single header in this game. He's been brilliant. No one in the box, though. Cut inside. Have a shot. Oh, what a save by Trubbin. Brilliant save. We've had a really good half here, I can't lie. And Aliden, oh, that's brilliant. Whipping in for Fabio Silva. 2-0. What a goal. In a game that's been so devoid of chances, I think that has just secured us Champions League glory with Vittoria. And what a burst of pace this is from Dele Alli. Whips the ball. That is a beautiful cross right across the goal. And Fabio Silva heads it into the side netting. It is 2-0 to Vittoria. There's been 2 chances in this game, proper goal-scoring chances, and they've both got in the back of the net. And Marseille can attack down this side. Where's on the defence? Oh, no. Oh, what a block by Marquinhos. And there's the full-time whistle, boys. We have won the Champions League with Vittoria SC. Goals from Miranda and Silva see us the champions of Europe. In a game that had so little chances, lads, we managed to take ours. And the Champions League trophy is coming back to Portugal. And it'll be Dele Alli to lift the Champions League trophy for Vittoria. A man who's been very open about his mental health issues, has come to Portugal and won the Champions League. And Vittoria SC are the champions of Europe. So life as a Bolton fan has been nothing but hell for the last 12 years. We went from Premier League to League 2 in just 10 seasons. And we also went 30 minutes from going out of business until our guardian angel, the one and only Sharon Britton, came in and saved our football club. Now the club are back on the right track. We're fighting for promotion back to the Championship. We've got a brilliant young manager in Ian Evatt and a fantastic squad consisting of players like Dion Charles, George Thomason, Rico Santos, Kyle Dempsey. We are going to jump into EAFC and rebuild Bolton Wanderers, my team, take us from League 1 to the Champions League final, and I want you to join me on that journey. If you enjoy this type of content, lads, please make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel, as I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers before the end of EAFC24. Let's jump into EAFC, boys, and start this Bolton Wanderers rebuild. So we've jumped into EAFC, lads, and this is how we've set the Bolton Wanderers team up. We've changed the formation a little bit to a 3-4-1-2. We've got Mendes Gomez and Dacres Cogley playing as wingers instead of wing backs. Ian Evatt likes to use wing backs in real life. We've got one of the strongest squads in League 1, boys. Players like Nathan Baxter, Ricardo Santos and Dion Charles. That should be more than enough to win the league title. And that is exactly what the board want us to do. They aren't messing about. They want us to win the League 1 title this season and reach the FA Cup round of 16. Now, because it's season 1, the first summer transfer window is disabled, so we cannot sign any players until January. Now, in real life, Ian Evatt likes to play possession-based football with Bolton Wanderers, so we are going to use the tiki-taka tactical vision, because I personally am a massive, massive fan of how Ian Evatt sets his teams up. We want to replicate that over into the AFC, but I want to put my own twist on it. We've also promoted Sommer, Cadleck and Boyd to the senior team because they have got really, really good potential, and we could even potentially send them out on loan in January. When we do get to January, lads, we will have £3 million to spend. Now, without further ado, boys, we are going to simulate forward to January the 1st, and hopefully we are at the top of the League 1 table. So for January the 1st, lads, and we are 3rd in the league. Not exactly the best start to the season, lads. We have got one of the best goal differences in the entire league, though. We're only 3 points off the automatics. We're going to have to improve, though, if we are going to sneak into the automatics and get automatic promotion this season. But some really solid growth around the entire squad, lads. Santos, Baxter, Mendes Gomez and Adebayo are the main rowers in the side. But lads, I've found an attacking midfielder that I really want to sign, and it's Kawan Porku from Peterborough United. If you are an EFL fan in real life, you will know this guy is absolutely incredible, so I'd love to be able to bring him into Bolton Wanderers.
12 seconds later.
Oh, lads, we just didn't have enough money to bring Porku in to the drawing board. I really wanted to get that one over the line as well. Where one door closes, another one opens. We have found free agent Matthew Garbutt, 67 rated and 21-year-old. We're going to go in for him, lads, and bring him into Bolton Wanderers. So it's a done deal, boys. The first signing of this Bolton Wanderers rebuild is Australian midfielder Matthew Garbutt. And there's only one rate in the border giving that one an A. We have just spent 2.3 million on a youth scout who has got 5-star experience and 4-star judgment. He will bring us in the next generation of Bolton legends. And with all our budget gone, lads, it's time to press on now and simulate to the end of the season. So we have arrived at the end of season 1, lads, and as you can see, we have won the League One title. We are back in the Championship as Bolton Wanderers. This is how the squad is looking at the end of the season, lads, and as you can see, Mendes, Gomez, Adebayo, Joe, Morley, Johnston, Santos and Baxter all had excellent seasons and grew massively. So Reading are the other side promoted with us, and Derby County beat Charlton 1-0 in the playoff final. They will be in the Championship as well next season. The FA Cup was won by Liverpool. They beat Man City in the final. Carabao Cup won by Manchester United. The EFL Trophy was won by Charlton. I actually wanted to win this, lads. I've never won it on career mode yet. It's a long way off, but the Champions League was won by Bayern Munich. Man City won the Europa League, beating Roma 4-1, and Atletico Bilbao beat Fiorentina 2-1 to win the Conference League. Now, in terms of stats, lads, Dion Charles was absolutely incredible, lads. 34 goals and 12 assists. I am praying that he carries this over into real life and Bolton get promoted this season. Big Vic got 25 and 10. Mendes Gomez 15 and 9. Dempsey 11 and 4. Then it really falls off after that, boys. And just to let you know, boys, Cameron Jerome will be retiring finally after a long career, and John Daddy Bodvarsson will be leaving the club. He's joined Girona on a free transfer. Now let's get into season 2, lads, and let's attack the Championship. So we're in season 2, lads, and we have got a whopping £12 million to spend this summer. And there's also worth remembering, lads, we've got a lot of contracts to renew this summer, so we'll have to, that is going to take up a lot of our budget. And there we have it, lads. We have finally got our man. Kwame Poku is a Bolton Wanderers player, and we have spent £2.5 million to acquire Poku's services. And I weren't lying when I said we've got a lot of contracts to renew, lads. Just look at how many players need new deals. A lot of our budget could actually go here. So, lads, the objectives this season have been very, very kind to us. We just want to finish mid-table and Championship, and it's only low priority. The high priority stuff is just developing youth players, which is easily done. And they want us to get 10 wins in the league, which I'm very sure that we can do. We have made our first sale of the summer, lads. Randall Williams has joined Atlanta United for 700k. We have made our second signing of the summer, boys. Alfonso Diaz joins us from the free agents list. 19-year-old, 69 rated. He's going straight into our starting lineup. So the signings of Poku and Diaz definitely make the middle of the park stronger for us. We just need a right midfielder, and I'm happy, lads, and I'm happy to call that a day this summer. Lads, we had to make a decision. We got a big bid coming for George Tomasin of £1.3 million, lads, and we just had to accept it. He has left the club to Racco, and that has increased our budget to £10 million. So I am looking to bring in a really, really high quality right midfielder with the remaining transfer budget that we have. But a few more outgoings to keep you updated on, lads. Wolfsburger AC have signed Declan John for 450 grand, and Radek Kadlec, our youth academy player, has gone out on loan for the season. Lads, when I said I wanted to use a large chunk of our budget bringing in a top quality right midfielder, I have done just that. You are going to love this right midfielder who I brought in. Well, you'll love it if you're a Championship fan anyway. Tyrese Doolan is joining Bolton Wanderers for £4.5 million from local rivals Blackburn Rovers. Doolan slots in gorgeously on the right side of our midfield, and his stats are frightening, lads. 22-year-old, 72 red. He could be a future star for this career mode. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We have received a £2.1 million offer from Alves for Dion Charles. Now, if any Bolton fans are watching this, you might want to look away. I know how much we all love Dion. He's so influential in that Bolton team, but a 28-year-old, 70 rated, I'm going to have to accept £2.1 million for him. And now the search begins to bring in Dion Charles' replacement. That is a sight I just do not want to see in real life. Dion Charles has left Bolton Wanderers for £2.1 million. And me being the absolute idiot I am, I've sold him on August 26th, so I don't even have time to scout and replacement. We have got £6 million to bring in Dion Charles' replacement, so we should be able to get a really good replacement, to be fair. And boys, after working tirelessly to bring in a Charles replacement, I think we've just used the money perfectly. We've signed a young, hungry and very, very high potential striker from a fellow Championship rival. We have signed Tyrese Campbell from Stoke City for £4 million, and Campbell at 2 overalls higher rated than Charles. What, 4 years younger? That is a major, major replacement, and look at how good our squad now is looking going into season 2. I think we could genuinely push for a mid-table finish this season, and we've only got £1 million of our budget remaining, so we're going to be using that money for contracts and bringing in youth players, boys. So we're going to be simulating forward now to January, and hopefully we're steady in mid-table. We've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and surprisingly, lads, we're actually sitting 11th in the Championship. We're having a really, really good go at the league this season. We are a whole 13 points clear relegation zone as well, so it looks like we're going to be in for just a mid-table obscurity season. The team on paper, lads, looks really, really strong now. Every single player in the starting 11 is over 70 rated, and Nathan Baxter has grown to 74 rated. He looks incredible. There is something I just want to point out though. Sommer is out on loan at Sampdoria, and he has grown by 7 overalls. He's now 69 rated, and Nathan Baxter's contract does expire next summer. I'm thinking I'm probably not going to renew Nathan Baxter's contract, and when next summer comes, Sommer will be something like 70 plus rated. He can be our first choice goalkeeper. And I just have to show you 2 of the players we've got in our academy. Aaron Brewer, centre back, 16-year-old, 63 rated. He's got 83 to 93 potential. He's one player being promoted to the senior team right now. We've also got 15-year-old Michael Austin, who's 61 rated, 83 to 93 potential. He could be the next Jussi Jääskeläinen here at Bolton Wanderers. But before we do simulate 10 of the season, lads, I'm just going to let you know every single player you can see here, Nathan Baxter, Coleman, Sheehan, Carter, Iredale and Jones will all be being released from Bolton Wanderers. They're no longer good enough, and we've got better youth prospects coming up to replace Baxter. In fact, lads, I've had a bit of a brainwave. I've actually renewed Nathan Baxter's contract because I'm going to sell him at the start of next season to boost our funds so we can bring in some more players, and Sommer can become our first choice goalkeeper while we're in the process of selling Baxter. We've only got 543k available, boys. That means we will not be bringing anyone in this January transfer window, so as a thing stands, we are just simulating forward to the end of the season. Got a quick outgoing for you, boys. Aaron Brewer has joined Watford for the rest of the season on loan. And the final piece of transfer news for this January transfer window, lads, is Jack Iredale has joined, however you pronounce that, on a pre-contract at the end of the season. So we've reached the end of the season, lads, and we finished 9th in the Championship on 69 points, finishing 8 points outside of the playoff places. So we actually had a really good season all in all. The team on paper is looking very, very strong. Poku and Doolan being the standouts in terms of growth. Campbell grew by 2 as well, and Diaz grew by 4. He's now 72 rated. Our academy players who went out on loan have grown massively. Tony Sommer is now 71 rated, and he's going to be our first choice goalkeeper next season. The FA Cup was won by Everton. They beat Tottenham 3-2. Arsenal won 8-7 on penalties against Man City in an entertaining Carabao Cup final. The Championship playoffs won by Leeds United. They beat Southampton 3-0 and they are back in the Premier League. Still a long way off, but Bayern Munich beat AC Milan 1-0 to win the Champions League. Chelsea beat Getafe to win the Europa League, and Aston Villa beat Lazio to win the Europa League. So in terms of stats, lads, it's clear to see that we struggled for goals this season. Our top scorer being Tyrese Campbell with 15, Carlos Mendes Gomez chipping in with 12. We have really struggled for goals this season. Some departures you should know about as well. Joel Coleman will be joining Ascoli when the transfer window opens, and Josh Sheehan will be joining Dapwa for Lyon at St. Pauli. So all in all, lads, that's a very successful first season back in the Championship. Now next season the objective is try to get into them playoffs. So we're into season 3, boys, and we have got £11 million to spend. And looking at the squad on paper, lads, we definitely need a centre back to replace Owen Toll, and do you know what, I'd probably go for a striker as well to replace Victor Adebayo. Just did not get the goals for us last season. We have made our first signing of season 3, and it is an absolute banger from the big 6 in the Premier League. We have brought in David Washington from Chelsea for 5.8 million. Washington joins us for 5.8 million, so we got him below his market value. He's 20-year-old, 73 rated, and an exciting prospect. He could be an amazing signing for Bolton. We've made our second signing of the summer, boys, bringing in Owen Toll's replacement, 19-year-old Agar Mendes from the free agents. He is 71 rated. We've also got some outgoings to update you on. Matthew Gerbert has joined Trabzonspor for 3.45 million. Josh Dequez Cogley has joined Leuven for 1 million. And academy graduate Dylan Saunders has joined Huesca on a season-long loan. Lads, we have made our third signing of the summer, lads, and this is an absolute belter. We have brought in Harry Darling from Swansea City for 3.3 million. Darling is 73 rated, 25-year-old, and a left footer, so he slots in beautifully on the left side of our defence. And lads, we have just changed Jimmy Boyd from a left back to a left midfielder, and he's jumped up 6 overall to 70 rated. He could actually become our new starting left midfielder at some point this season. We are also going to be promoting Michael Austin and Archie Norton to the first team, and they'll be going out on loan this season. The summer of whole-scale changes is continuing, lads. Nathan Baxter has joined Braga for 3.4 million. So, boys, we have made our 4th signing of the summer, and it's some very much needed depth in the right midfielder position. We have brought in Cisse Sandra from the free agents list. He's 21, 70 rated, and he's going on our bench for the season. So we've got 4 outgoings to bring you up to date too, lads, and these were the last outgoings of the transfer window. Michael Austin has joined Casapia on a season-long loan. Archie Norton has joined FC Voluntari on a season-long loan. Will Forrester has joined Watford for 900k, and Radek Kadlec has joined Swansea on a season-long loan. Now, lads, we're at deadline day, and we do need at least 2 centre midfielders, and we've only got £6 million. Probably going to have to bring 1 free agent in and spend the rest of our £6 million budget on a marquee centre midfielder. Boys, we have just made an absolutely massive addition to our midfield ranks, and this is the most money we've spent on a player so far in this career mode. We have brought in Jason Knight from Bristol City for 4.6 million. We've only got £550,000 remaining, lads, so that is us done in this transfer window. We're now going to be simulating forward to January the 1st, and hopefully we are pushing for them playoff positions. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and as you can see, we are in the playoffs, sitting 5th in the league, and we've actually got quite a big 5-point gap from 7th place Millwall. We're having a really good season so far. Now, the squad is growing nicely, and as you can see, I've took Ricardo Santos and Carlos Mendes Gomez out and put 2 academy graduates in, Jim Boyd and Anton Brewer. Now, we only have 525k available, lads, so we won't be bringing anyone in this January transfer window. Now, we do have 3 players out of contract in the season: Santos, Johnston, Dempsey and Unlundalu. They've all hit the peak, really, and they're all only 70s or low 60s. So, lads, I've decided to renew Santos's and George Johnston's contracts, but I am going to be letting Kyle Dempsey and Dan Unlundalu go at the end of the season because I just cannot afford to give them new contracts. We've only got 130k of our transfer budget available available. Wow, we have done some spending this season. Lads, we have had a huge bid come in from Brighton for Carlos Mendes Gomez, £5.4 million. Obviously, Borges dislodged him from the starting 11, so we're going to accept it, lads, and we could have a major boost to our transfer kit. And what's sad for me as a Bolton fan is looking at that team, literally none of it is the current Bolton starting 11, but I knew that were going to happen as it is a rebuild, and not many survivors from the actual Bolton squad are still with us. We have made a deadline day signing, boys. We have bought in free agent Manu Rico. He's 6'7" rated, 23-year-old, and he's just a backup to Boyd for the rest of the season. And that is the end of our transfer window, lads. We are going to be simulating forward now to the end of the season, and let's see if we manage to keep our place in the playoffs. So we've reached the end of the season, lads, and as you can see, we finished 5th in the Championship, finished on 82 points, setting up a playoff tie with Watford. Brighton and Southampton were promoted back to the Premier League. Brighton got 103 points this season, and we've already played the first leg of our playoff semi-final. We got a 3-2 win at home to Watford. We are going to be simulating that game now, and hopefully we are going to Wembley. We win 2-0, lads. We're going to Wembley. We are in the playoff final, and lads, we have got Blackburn Rovers in the Championship playoff final. That is a massive local derby for Bolton. Boys, it is Championship playoff final time against Blackburn Rovers. Oh my god, I am nervous. I'm not even going to look, lads. I'm not even going to look. Yes, lads, we beat Blackburn in the playoff final. We are in the Premier League with Bolton. And lads, looking at the starting 11, boys, we definitely need to bring in a centre-back who is better than Brewer. So it's taken us 3 seasons to get Bolton from League 1 to the Premier League. Let's kick on this career mode now in the Premier League. But before we go to the Premier League, lads, we've got to get through the cup winners. Everton yet again with another trophy, beating City 4-2 in the FA Cup final. Arsenal beat City again in the Carabao Cup final. City lost 2 finals. That is not like them. The Champions League was won by Man City, though they finally won a final. They beat Atletico Madrid 2-1. Liverpool beat Arsenal 2-1 in an all-English Europa League final, and Newcastle United won the Conference League, so the all-English sides won in the European competition's total domination. And it's clear to see who our best player was this season. David Washington got 27 goals in 49 games, and really, lads, other than Campbell and Adebayo, there's not really a lot of contributions from the rest of the squad. So we're into season 4, lads, and we have got £63 million to spend this season. I do think we could probably do with a better player than Tyreek Campbell. He's 26-year-old and on the 75 rated, so I think we might even be looking to bring his replacement in. So we have made our first signing of the summer, boys, and it is an absolute coup from the free agents list. We have brought in Hannibal Mejbri on a free contract on a 4-year deal. He's 75 rated, 23-year-old, and he's going straight into our starting lineup. And just to let you know, boys, Kyle Dempsey and Dan Unlundell have both left the club on free contracts. Now, lads, if you watch my FIFA 23 rebuilds, you will know I absolutely love the free agent list because you can find some absolute gems on there, and we have done exactly that in EA FC24. Lads, we have brought in Julian Sepulveda from the free agents list. He is 17 years old and 76 rated, and he's going straight into our starting 11. And lads, I can't lie, I'm really impressed with our back three looks at the minute. All very young players, 20, 17 and 26. That is a very youthful back three, and they're only going to grow and keep getting better. And that means that 18-year-old Anton Brewer will probably go out on loan this season. Boys, we've made our second signing of the summer, and we have brought in an established Premier League centre-back from Everton for just £17 million. We have brought in Jared Bramthwaite from Everton, 24 years old, 78 overall, and we've only paid £17 million for him. That is a great deal. Lads, we have just signed our first 80 rated player of the rebuild, and what a signing this is. We have signed former Everton player Yusuf Chermiti from Roma for £30 million. We have absolutely obliterated Bolton's record transfer. 22 years old, 80 rated. What a signing. And Chermiti slots in nicely at the side of Washington up front. And do you know what, lads? Looking at that team on paper, I actually am quite confident it could stay up this season. And that leaves us with £8 million, lads. So I don't think we'll be bringing any more players on a paid deal. We will be still looking for free agents, though, boys. And lads, we have received a £1.5 million offer for Ricardo Santos. Now, being a Bolton fan, I absolutely love Rico. He's 31 and 72 rated. He's never going to get a game this season. The best thing to do is just let him go and get some money for him. And I just want to thank the Premier League for giving us such an easy first game in the season. We have got Chelsea of all clubs. Thank you very much. And we have got quite a few outgoings to get through, so I'm going to run you through them right now, lads. Academy graduate Aaron Dixon has joined Southampton on loan. He grew by 13 overalls last season, so he is one to keep an eye on. Leon Richards joined Stade Lausanne on a season-long loan. So, lads, we did have a scour about looking for a centre-attacking midfielder to bring in to replace Poku, but do you know what, lads? Don't really massively improve our team too much, so we're going to give Poku a chance this season. He's going to get a chance to keep that centre-attacking midfielder position and make it his own. So we've rounded up January the 1st, lads, and as you can see, we're having an amazing season. We are 13th in the Premier League on 21 points, and we are 8 points clear of the relegation zone. We've actually won 6 games. I weren't expecting us to have such a good start. And lads, completely unbeknownst to me, Tyrese Campbell is joining PSV. While we've been simulating forward, they must have come in on a pre-contract and got him on literally the first day of the transfer window. Now, Victor Adebayo, Owen Toll and Aaron Morley are all out of contract. Do you know know what, lads, I'm going to renew Aaron Morley's and Victor Adebayojo's contract. You know, being a Bolton fan, I do actually want to keep some Bolton players at the club. Now, looking at the starting 11, boys, wow, we have now got two 80-plus rated strikers in Chermity and Washington. They are smashing it. We've had good growth from Branthwaite, Darling and Supple-Dava as well. We have got £12 million, lads, but I don't really feel like we can bring anyone in with that kind of money to really drastically improve the starting 11. We're now going to simulate forward to the end of the season, and hopefully we have stayed in the Premier League. Lads, we've arrived at the end of the season, and we had an absolutely incredible first season back in the Premier League. We finished 13th in the Premier League. We finished a full 21 points clear of the relegation zone. We had an amazing season. We had some really solid growth, lads. We've actually got 80 rated players all across the board now. Sommer and Branthwaite are both at 80 rated. Tottenham Hotspur won the FA Cup and they knocked us out in the semi-final. We were so close to our first cup final. Carabao Cup was won by Spurs again. The Champions League was won by Milan. Now we have got an eye on the Champions League because we're going to want to be qualifying for that soon. Europa League was won by Arsenal and the Conference League was won by Benfica. Now in terms of stats, lads, Eustace Chermity was an excellent signing. He got 23 in 45. David Washington got 10 in 42. Victor Adebayojo got 10 goals in 21 games. That is a great return. So let's simulate forward now, lads, to the next Premier League season, and hopefully we can start pushing towards them European places. Now, we've arrived in season 2, lads, and looking at the starting 11, lads, I wouldn't mind another centre midfielder and maybe even a left midfielder. I think Knight and Boyd need to be improved going into the next season. Now, we have got £61 million to make these transfers happen. That's pretty much the same as last season, and we'll definitely make it go a long way. And lads, we start the season off with an absolute raft of transfer offers. Wow. Just to let you know, boys, Owen Toll joined Las Palmas. We didn't renew his contract. So I'm going to bring you, lads, Aaron Morley has joined Bournemouth for £6 million. Very sad to see the Radcliffe Perlo leave Bolton. Ega Mendes has joined Brentford for £7 million. Jason Knight has joined Burnley for £7.2 million. And one of our academy graduates, Owen Warren, has joined Nice for £2 million. That takes our budget to £82 million, lads. We could bring in some serious talent with that money. So, lads, we have made our first signing of season 1 and we have not spent a penny. It is a free agent and it is a massive upgrade on Poku in the centre attacking midfield position. We have brought in Miguel Monsalve from the free agents list. He is 23 years old and 79 rated. What a signing that is. Lads, we've made another signing from the free agents list. We have brought in Blanco, a 19-year-old 73 rated striker. This is a replacement for Victor Adebayojo, who'll be free to leave the club this season. So, boys, last season we conceded 75 goals in the Premier League, which is one of the reasons why we was in the bottom half of the table. So I thought a centre-back is priority this season, and we have brought in a 19-year-old wonder kid from Manchester United. We have signed Jacob Bauer for just £16.5 million. Bauer is 19 years old and 80 rated. What a signing this is. And look at the squad, lads. All I want to improve on now is probably left midfield and a new centre midfielder, and I'll be happy. And we've got £56 million of our transfer budget remaining to bring in a left midfielder and a centre midfielder. Lads, we have just used up the majority of our budget to bring in an absolute star in the left midfield position. We have signed Samuel Illing Jr. from Arsenal for £37.5 million. He is 81 rated and 23-year-old. What a signing this is for us. And that will unfortunately see academy graduate Boyd drop to the bench and Illing Jr. take his place in the starting 11. And once again, lads, the free agents list delivers. I've just found an absolute gem again, and I've literally got him for £2,000 a week. We have signed 17-year-old William Sanchez on a 5-year deal. Sanchez is 78 rated and 17 years old, and we are going to retrain him to either be a centre midfielder or centre back. Now, interestingly, lads, Sanchez is 6'6", so we are going to retrain him to be a centre back, and I think that will boost his overall up quite nicely. But in terms of incomings, lads, that is our transfer window done, as we only have £17 million available. We'll save that till January, and if a deal comes available in January, we'll take it. We're going to simulate forward now to January the 1st, and hopefully we are pressing for European football. So we have arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we are 10th in the Premier League. It's an improvement on last season, lads. The board wanted us to finish mid-table this season, and it does not get any more mid-table than 10th place, does it? The starting 11 now is starting to take serious shape, boys. We've had great growth from Sommer, Monsalve, Chermity and Washington. I just feel like our centre midfield positions are quite weak this season. With us only having £15 million, I don't think we're going to make a major signing to our centre midfield position. So that'll probably be us till the end of the season. We'll save the £15 million for next season. We do have an outgoing though, lads. FC24 have signed George Johnson. He will join them at the start of next season. So yeah, lads, we're going to save this £15 million for next summer, and we are going to simulate forward now to the end of the season. So we've reached the end of the season, lads, and as you can see, we finished 11th in the Premier League. So we have met the board's objective of finishing mid-table. We were 12 points clear relegation, lads, which is a nice sign, and we was also 20 points adrift from European places, so there's quite a big gap to bridge before we're going to be challenging for them. Again, we've had excellent growth in starting 11, boys. Chermity is now 86 rated, one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Sommer has grown to 84. It's just the centre midfielders, lads. We need to bring some centre midfielders in next season. Man City won the FA Cup, lads. They beat Fulham 2-1. The Carabao Cup was won by Chelsea. They beat Coventry 4-3 in the final. Leipzig won the Champions League. Benfica won the Europa League, and Feyenoord won the Conference League. Now, looking at the stats, lads, it's clear to see where we are struggling. Goals. We are really struggling struggling for goals this season. David Washington got 23 and 42 again, and Chermiti got 14 and 41. But other than that, lads, no real major contributions from the rest of the team. So next season, the main signing I want is a midfielder who can score goals and add some goals to this team. And we've got £88 million to bring that midfielder in. Now, I'm in two minds. Do I split the budget in half and bring in two midfielders, or do I spend all that money on one world-class midfielder? So we have made our first signing of the summer, boys, and it is none other than Mohamed Salah's regen. Abdul Wahab Hassan, 18-year-old, 81 rated, 46 million transfer value, and he is come from the free agents list. So, boys, we have made our second signing of the summer, and we have paid £35 million to acquire a midfielder from the German league. We have signed Charlie Patino from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Patino's 83 rated, 24-year-old, and his stats are incredibly well-rounded. He's going straight into our starting 11. And that leaves us, lads, with £48 million to bring in another set midfielder, and I know exactly who I'm going to go for. We have brought in Real Betis midfielder Arne Engels for £41 million. Engels is 83 rated like Patino, the same age as Patino at 24, and he is extremely well-rounded as well. And lads, just look at that starting 11 now. Every single player other than Sepulveda are over 80 rated, and we've got plenty of players who've massively cleared 80 rated as well. And the oldest player in that starting 11, lads, is Jared Brantford, 26-year-old, meaning every single one of these players have got massive potential and could all maybe even hit 90 rated. And the signing of Engels leaves us with £3 million, lads. So without any outgoings, that is our transfer window done. So, lads, we've got some outgoings to bring you up to date with. Academy graduate Archie Norton joined Ajax for £4 million. Radek Kadlec joined Luton for £2 million. Evaristo Blanco, who we brought in on a free contract last year, has joined Espanyol for £7 million. Another Academy graduate, Dylan Saunders, has gone out on loan. Guy we brought in last summer, William Sanchez, we've just sold him for £28 million, and he's out the door. So after renewing a few contracts, lads, we are actually left with £29 million. So maybe if the right player comes up, we could add one more player to the squad. We've got some more outgoings for you, boys. Manu Rica has joined Arauco for £1.6 million. Aaron Dixon has joined Leeds United on a season-long loan. Alfonso Diaz has joined PSG on a season-long loan. And we have just sold stalwart Harry Darling to Newcastle United for £15.4 million. Now that leaves us with £50 million. And you know what, lads? Looking at the starting 11, I think we could just do with another high-rated centre-back, probably to take Sepulveda's position, and then I'd be really happy with this squad. And lads, we have just made an absolutely insane signing to our centre-back department, and it is an absolute corker, this, boys. We have brought in England international Mark Guaya from Leicester City for £41 million. 85 rated Guaya, and do you know what I like about him, lads? He's got 80 short passes, so he fits our tiki-taka system, and now this is going to be the starting 11 that takes us into the new season, and I'm absolutely buzzing with that team, lads, and I think we could really push on for at least Europa League football this season. So looking at our budget, lads, we are broke. We've got £5 million left. We are going to be simulating forward now to January the 1st, and hopefully we are challenging for European football. Lads, we have arrived at January the 1st, and just look at that league table. We are top of the Premier League, and we've actually got a game in hand as well. We're having an amazing season. Now, looking at the squad, lads, we've had some amazing growth from the entire team. Chimiti's almost 90 rated. Washington's 84. Now, we only have £5 million, lads, so we will not be signing anyone in this transfer window. We are going to be simulating forward now to the end of the season, and hopefully I don't expect us to win the league, but we actually get top 4 and finish in the Champions League. So, boys, we've reached the end of the season, and as you can see, we've actually qualified for the Champions League, finishing in 3rd position, 7 points clear of 5th. We did bottle winning the Premier League, but at least we're playing in the Champions League next season. So this is the squad that has got us into the Champions League, lads, and as you can see, Chimiti is almost 90 rated. He's been incredible for us. I would like, however, a new centre-back in the new season to replace Bauer, and maybe even replace Brantford as well. Tottenham won the FA Cup on penalties. Chelsea won the Carabao Cup. The Champions League, which we will be finally competing in next season, was won by Barcelona. Arsenal beat Chelsea in the Europa League final, and Spurs won the Conference League. Now, in terms of stats, lads, it's very nice to see Washington and Chimiti both hit 20 goals this season. Salah's regen Hassan also chipped in with 10, but once again, lads, we're really struggling to add goals to our team from midfield, with Engels and Patino only getting 7 and 6. So let's get into the new season. Let's attack the Champions League. Hopefully, we can have a really, really good go at it. And before we enter the new season, lads, one final bit of sad news. The last surviving member of the original Bolton team, Victor Abayajo, leaving the club. His contract is not being renewed. So we've already identified, lads, that we probably need 2 centre-backs in this transfer window, but just look at our budget, £181 million. We could literally sign whoever we wanted in this window. So we have just kicked off the summer transfer window in style, boys, signing one of the best defenders in the Premier League. We have signed Sven Botman from Newcastle for £51.3 million. Botman is 87 rated, and he goes straight into the left side of our defence. Lads, we have just made an absolutely incredible signing. We have signed Wesley Fofana for £9 million plus Jared Brandthwaite. What a signing this is. And we've still got £103 million to spend. And I'm looking at that team thinking Engels' position is in jeopardy. I'm thinking about signing one of the best midfielders in the world. Lads, we have just picked up one of the hottest midfield prospects in world football, and we've also made a direct title challenger in Chelsea a lot weaker. We have brought in Warren Zaire-Emery for £90 million. Emery is 86 rated, and just look at them stats, lads. What a player this guy is. And just look at our starting 11, boys. That is absolutely incredible. And that starting 11 could genuinely challenge in the Champions League this season. Now, we've only got £6 million of £181 million transfer budget remaining, but we have got some players listed for transfer, so we might even be able to get one more signing in this summer. And just to let you know, lads, we have brought 3 free agents in because we have got absolutely no squad depth. We have brought in Goncalvo Costa on a free contract. We're going to be converting him to a left midfielder. We've also brought in Hector Lucas and goalkeeper Yannick Fisher. So we've got some transfers to go through, lads. Alfonso Diaz joined Fulham for £11 million. Aaron Brewer joined Spezia for £4 million. Academy graduate Harrison Waters joined Palace on loan, and Yannick Fisher, the free agent we've just brought in, has gone to Inter Milan for £11 million. And our first ever Champions League group is in, lads, and it does not get much harder than this. We've got AC Milan, Porto and Sparta Prague. We're going to have to be at our best to get through that group. So now we're going to simulate forward to January the 1st and see if we got through that Champions League group. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we are second in the Premier League. We do have a game in hand on Manchester City, but they are 7 points clear. It's also very tight at the top. From 8th to 2nd place, there's literally just 8 points. Now it is time for the moment of truth. Did we get through our Champions League group? Yeah, we did. We finished second. AC Milan absolutely pissed the group. Then they conceded twice in 6 games. We got 3 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, so we're into the knockout stages. And we've got Borussia Dortmund. Wow, that should be an interesting tie. Now the starting 11, lads, is looking incredible. We've had some good growth again from Washington, Illian Jr. and Zaire-Emery. Now we have actually got £43 million to spend, but because we're doing so well, I might just save that and use it next season. Lads, I've brought you back just before the end of the season because we are currently in a Champions League semi-final and we won the first leg 3-1. We're going to simulate it together and see if we got to the final. Team is knackered. We draw 2-2. But it doesn't matter. Bolton are in a Champions League final. And oh my God, please give me Manchester United in the final. Please. So lads, we have found out our opponents for the Champions League final, and it is none other than Manchester United Northwest Derby in the Champions League final. I cannot wait for that, but let's run through some of the league standings. We ended up finishing second in the Premier League, which I'm really happy about. 15 points off tabletop in Manchester City though. So in all the rebuilds we've done so far, we're still yet to win the Premier League. But the FA Cup was won by yours truly. 3-0 win against Manchester City at Wembley, and that is actually our first trophy of this career mode. And City won the Carabao Cup, beating Chelsea 2-0. The Europa League was won by Atletico Madrid. They beat Bayern 3-1, and whoever they are won the Conference League. Now in terms of stats, lads, it's great to see Washington and Chemity both hit 20 plus goals again this season. But even more encouragingly, for the first time this season, 2 of our midfielders have got 10 plus goals in Hassan and Monsalve. So it is Champions League final time, boys, and this is the team that could potentially make Bolton Wanderers history. And here we go, lads. Washington to get the game on the way. Oh, that could be a red card. Oh, that were a bad tackle from Gueye on Højlund. So thankfully only a yellow card for Gueye. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, you're an absolute G, and you should probably consider hitting that subscribe button. Play it. Zaire-Emery, come on. We're away. Come on, we're away. Across the box. Oh, I messed that up. I messed that up. See, I'm for United. Oh, we've won it back. That's a paw from Lamptey. And that's Paul from Illian Jr. What we're doing? Who's injured? Miretti, I'm now. He's a 90 rated centre midfielder, lads. And if United lose a 90 rated centre midfielder, there's definitely improve our chances. Does he have to come off? Miretti is off, lads. Monsalve. Finesse shot. Ah, it's needed save for Ramirez. That's the first shot of the game. In the 30th minute, that says everything you need to know about this final. Shit. Oh, Højlund, that were a chance. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, Christ, that's another big chance for Højlund. Mate, it should be 1-0. There was a pass on then that I just didn't take. Edge of the box, though. Oh, that's a good save by Ramirez. Hassan, come on. Oh, my. Oh, over the post. Oh, my God. Right on the stroke of half-time, Hassan hits the post. And it's going to be 0-0 at half-time, boys. Anthony's in. Oh, what a save. I'd be expecting him to save that, if I'm honest. Shit, don't dive in like that. What a tackle. What a tackle. Because Anthony was away there. Right, we've got to get away here. Illian Jr. He's got the speed. 53 on the clock. He has got the speed. Might have to shoot, though. Gonna have to shoot. Yes, come on. Illian Jr. with a goal. Runs the full length of the pitch on the counter-attack. And Samuel Illian Jr. makes it 1-0 to Bolton Wanderers in this Northwest Derby Champions League final. This is very nice from United. Gueye. Oh, it's a big moment. Big tackle. Oh, no, we're diving into tackles a bit. Oh, what a save. 79 on the clock. This has been one of the closest Champions League finals I've ever played in. Gueye, get across to him. Oh, it's a good ball. What a save. Oh, my God, Sommer. That could have won us the Champions League. Oh, what a tackle from Gueye. No, 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 no. What a... Oh, my God, Sommer again. Sommer again in the 89th minute. And Ilin Jr., come on, lad. Just run. Just run, Ilin Jr. The game's done. We've won the Champions League, but can we get a second? Ilin Jr. Yes! Come on. Oh, my God. Ilin Jr. wraps up the Champions League. What a way to win the Champions League, boys. Sommer makes so many great saves in the second half. And Ilin Jr. scores 2 of the exact same type of goals. Sprints the full length of the pitch. And he absolutely cannons this into the top corner. Watch this. Bang! What a finish from Samuel Ilin Jr. And there's the full-time whistle, boys. We have won the Champions League with my club, Bolton Wanderers. Get in there. What a final that were. All that is left to do, lads, is watch my Bolton Wanderers team lift the Champions League trophy. Something I'll never, ever see in my lifetime, unfortunately. The trophy is white and navy blue for Bolton Wanderers. There is the main man, Sommer. What a player. The captain as well. And it's only right that he lifts the trophy after dropping a man-of-the-match performance in the Champions League final. Bolton Wanderers are the champions of Europe. Glasgow Rangers are a Scottish footballing giant. However, in recent years, they fell second fiddle to arch rivals Celtic, as they haven't won the Scottish Premier League since 2021. This has been the only time Rangers have won the SPL since they got promoted back to the SPL in 2016 after financial problems. However, in that time, they have had some success in Europe, reaching a Europa League final where they narrowly lost on penalties to Eintracht Frankfurt. However, the Europa League is not good enough for Glasgow Rangers. We are jumping into FC24 and we are going to win them a Champions League trophy, whilst also making them the dominant force in Scottish football, because Celtic's reign has to come to an end. Remember, lads, if you enjoyed the content, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. If you want to see anyone rebuilt in future videos, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below and I will get round to rebuilding them. Let's get this rebuild on the way. So this is the Rangers team we've loaded into, lads, and do you know what? It's actually quite good. We've got some brilliant players like Tavernier in the right back position, Raskin in centre midfield, and Danilo up top. So this is a side I can definitely work with. So we've moved some players about, lads, and this is going to be the starting 11 to take us into season 1. And I think we've got a very good squad for the Scottish League. I'm just hoping that that team's got enough to beat Celtic to the league title, because as we can see, the board are expecting instant success to us to win the league and the cup, and that is a critical priority. Now, as we know, lads, with these rebuilds, the first transfer window is always disabled, so we're stuck with this team anyway until January the 1st. And when we do get to January, lads, we'll have £23 million to bring some players in. And the tactical vision we've decided on, lads, is the tiki-taka style of play. Now, this is because we've got a really good midfield three, and I think they should be able to dominate games for us in the Scottish leagues. Because let's be realistic, we're not going to be challenging in the Europa League or Champions League anytime soon. So we've sorted the starting 11, tactical vision, and the finances. Now we're going to be simulating forward through to January the 1st, and I'm just hoping that we're challenging Celtic for the league title. And very quickly, lads, before I forget, we're actually in the Europa League in season 1. We've got Real Betis, Sparta Prague, and CFR 907 Cluj, I think that's how you pronounce that name. In all honesty, lads, I've not got my hopes up. If we get through, we get through, but I'm expecting us to go out here, to be honest. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and oh my God, we've had a shocking start to our life as Rangers, boss. We're currently 4th in the SPL, but we are only 3 points off tabletop in Hearts. So as it stands, we won't even be playing in Europe next season. Speaking of Europe, lads, we did actually manage to sneak through our Champions League group in 2nd place on 10 points, and we will take on Napoli in the preliminary round. That's just so unfair, lads. Now, as you know, lads, it's January and we can finally bring some players in, and I've identified Scott McTominay of Manchester United as our first transfer target. He's 79 rated and 27-year-old, lads, and I think he'd be a great addition for Rangers. And for just £12.85 million, lads, we have brought Scott McTominay from Manchester United to Rangers. Now, after the signing of McTominay, lads, we do actually still have £14 million to spend. And looking at the starting 11, lads, I really feel like we're lacking a proper good winger, so I'm going to go in for a right winger to replace Wright, as he's 72 rated and 26-year-old, lads, and doesn't have much more room to grow. We've also got 6 players out of contract at the end of the season, lads, and they're all pretty much over 30 years old. The only player we're going to be renewing is John Lundstrom. The rest are free to leave the club either now or at the end of the season. And for our final signing of this January window, lads, we have brought in a very exciting right midfielder from the Premier League. We have brought in Facundo Buonanotte for £7 million from Brighton. Buonanotte is 71 rated and 19 years old, lads, and he's got insane potential in this year's game. So after the incomings of McTominay and Buonanotte, I'm expecting this team to do much better in the second half of the season and hopefully press on and win the SPL. So let's simulate forward to the end of the season, lads, and see if we manage to clinch the SPL title. So we've reached the end of season 1, lads, and as you can see, we finished 3rd in the Cinch Premier League, 7 points off tabletop in Celtic. Then when we got to the second stage, the Championship group, we finished 2nd, 1 point behind tabletop in Celtic, even though we were really good in the Championship rounds of fixtures. But there is some good news, lads. We did win the Scottish Cup, beating Celtic 4-1 in the final, bringing home our first piece of silverware of the rebuild. So we didn't manage to reach the final of the Europa League, lads. I don't think anyone's surprised about that, but we did actually reach the semi-finals where we were beaten 5-3 over 2 legs by Sporting Lisbon. And maybe, just maybe, I've underestimated our team a little bit, because looking at it on paper, lads, it is actually quite a strong squad. We've got some really good players like Scott McTominay, Pod Cantwell and Danilo all going at really good rates. So in all honesty, lads, this squad is definitely growing and getting a lot better. Now going into season 2, I definitely want to bring in a better goalkeeper than Butland, someone who's young and has got very high potential. And I'm also looking to that left midfield position thinking, do I replace Matondo as well? Now in terms of stats, lads, our top scorer was Danilo this season, getting 34 goals and 12 assists in 54 games. Pod Cantwell had an outstanding season, getting 19 goals and 10 assists as well. We also had a wonder kid in our academy, lads. Lucas McNeil has been promoted to the senior team. He's 16 years old, 64 rated, and he's got potential to be special. This guy's one to watch out for in the future. So let's get into season 2, lads, and let's try to win the Scottish Premier League. We've arrived in season 2, lads, and we've got £37 million to improve our squad, and we can bring in a very good goalkeeper with that kind of money. And our search for a goalkeeper, lads, has brought us to Sebastian Meza, a 75 rated 24-year-old goalkeeper from the Argentinian leagues. Now we cannot pay his market value for him, so we're going to have to just activate his release clause, but I don't mind doing this, lads. This guy's got great potential in this year's game. And after activating Meza's release clause, we have brought him to Rangers for £11 million. Now after the signing of Meza, we're still left with £28 million to spend, and I'm going to bring in Gabriel Veron, a 77 rated 21-year-old Brazilian winger from Cadiz CF. He's got brilliant pace, brilliant dribbling, and he's got very good potential in this year's game. And Veron was not cheap. He comes to Rangers for £23 million. So after the signings of Veron and Meza, lads, we're left with just £3 million, and that brings our transfer window to a close, meaning this will be the Rangers team to take us into season 2, lads, and you cannot deny it's looking much stronger on paper, and hopefully this year we can actually win the SPL. So we've reached the end of the transfer window, lads, and I have got some going to bring you up to date with. Sam Lammers has joined Valencia for £3.3 million. Academy wonder kid Lucas McNeil has joined Başakşehir on loan for the season. John Lundstrom handed in a transfer request, so we sold him to Fenerbahce for £3.6 million. Alex Lowry has joined Norwich for £3 million. Very exciting young centre-back Leon King will join Bournemouth for the season. Kieran Dowell has left the club to join Ajax for £4.45 million. And the big one, Ianis Hadji has joined Lazio for £10.7 million, lads. It was a hard decision, but I'm going to go with Todd Cantwell over him. And that means, lads, when we arrive in January, we'll have £34 million to spend. So I'm not going to spend it all now because I can't scout anyone in time. I'm going to save that money, scout a load of players, and then in January we'll use the money to improve our squad even further. And lads, it is absolute heartbreak in the Champions League. We didn't even manage to get past the qualification round. We lost to Galatasaray 4-2 over 2 legs. I have to be fair to the lads, that is a difficult draw, but we should have got through. We should at least be getting to the group stage. So I don't understand how this works, lads, but we've ended up in the Europa League and we've got Spurs, Malmo and Shamrock Rovers. We should actually be getting through that group, to be honest. If anyone can let me know in the comment section down below, if you lose the qualification round in the Champions League, do you automatically go into the Europa League? So if we're out of January the 1st, lads, and oh my god, we are running away with the Scottish Premier Division. We are top of the league, 13 points clear of second place Celtic, and we have not lost a single game all season. We are dominating Scottish football at the minute. And lads, we just managed to scrape through a Europa League group. Shamrock Rovers of all clubs took us right to the edge. We got 9 points. We're through to the second round, and we will take on AS Monaco. You can't see it because my big head's blocking the way, but we've got AS Monaco in the next round. Now we've got £37 million to improve the squad, lads, and I'm thinking we're definitely lacking in the centre-back position, so I'm going to bring in a new centre-back to replace Suter. He's only 76 rated and 28-year-old. He's not going to grow much more. Let's get a proper, good, world-class young centre-back in. And we've identified the centre-back we want to bring into the football club. It's Benoit Badiashile of Chelsea, 23 years old, 80 rated French centre-back. And given the fact he'll be on the left side of our defence, it makes a big difference that he's actually left-footed. And lads, it's absolutely bankrupted us in the process, but we have brought Benoit Badiashile to Rangers for £35.4 million. And the incoming of Badiashile leaves us with just £1 in our transfer budget, so it's safe to say no more activity in this window. So we've arrived at deadline day, lads, and the rest I'm going to bring you up to date with. Jack Butland joined Real Betis for £3.5 million. So John Sterling joined Brentford on loan till the end of the season, and Ross McCausland joined Cardiff City for £1.35 million. Bringing a close to our transfer window, lads. Let's get forward to the end of the season and see how we got on. So we've reached the end of season 2, lads, and we finished top of the Cinch Premier League on 86 points, 13 points clear of Celtic, losing just once all season. Then we went to the Championship group, lads, and went 5-4-5, finishing the league season on 101 1 points. What a team we have built here at Rangers. And in just season 2, lads, we have done the domestic double as we smashed Celtic once again in the Scottish Cup final 4-1. I think the reins of most dominant club in Scotland has been handed over to Rangers. No, we once again had an okay run in the Europa League, lads. We got to the quarterfinals where we were knocked out narrowly by Wolfsburg. 6-4 over 2 legs. There's no shame in that, lads. We are improving in Europe. So let's have a look at the team that is absolutely dominating Scottish football, and it is very, very clear to see why. The team looks incredible on paper. The likes of Buonanotte and Veron growing nicely on the wings. Yilmaz continues to develop at a great rate at 81 rated. Bedashila grew by 2 already as well. Going into next season though, lads, I do think it might be time to change James Tavernier. He's 78 rated and 33 years old, so he's only going to decline from here, and the same goes for Connor Goldson, who's 32-year-old and 78 rated. We need to replace them two, lads. And in terms of stats, lads, Danilo was absolutely unbelievable, getting 40 goals and 15 assists in the SPL. As you can see, most of his goals did come in the SPL, getting 29 in 37. So going into season 3, lads, we need to start performing better in Europe because we're going to be in the Champions League. I want to get to at least the quarterfinals of the Champions League, lads. So we're out in season 3, lads, and we've got £32 million to improve our squad. But I've had a bit of a brainwave. I have changed Scott McTominay's position from a CDM to a centre-back, and he will be in the centre-back position for the next season, meaning the transfer targets have now changed for this window. We are looking for a new centre midfielder to replace Cifuentes, and we also want to bring in a new right back as Tavernier is aging. Now, lads, I know some of you Rangers fans watching this are not going to enjoy what I'm going to do now, but as you know, we are in the market to replace James Tavernier. He's 33 years old and 78 rated. By the end of this season, lads, he's going to be about 74, 73 rated, and Chelsea have come in and bid £10.6 million for him, but we could get up to 13 million. I know how much of a Rangers legend he is, lads, but just for the purposes of actually trying to win the Champions League, I'm going to have to let him go and bring in a better replacement. So, lads, we've had a little boost to our transfer budget as we have won the European International Cup, winning £4 million of prize money. And, lads, here is confirmation. Club legend James Tavernier is leaving Rangers, and we have got £13.5 million from him. I think that's a pretty good deal, lads. I'm just sad to see him go. And we've now got £57 million to improve our squad, which is a very, very healthy budget. So we have identified James Tavernier's replacement, lads, and it is Aaron Hickey, a right back, currently earning his trade in the French League. He's 80 rated and 23 years old. It's going to be a pricey deal, lads, but I do think we can make something happen. And for £27.7 million, lads, Aaron Hickey is a Rangers player. And we're also in the market for a centre midfielder, lads, and we have identified Elliot Anderson as our primary midfield target. He's 22 years old, 78 rated, looks very, very well rounded, Scottish as well. I think this will be an amazing signing. And for 21 million, lads, we have brought Elliot Anderson to Rangers. After the signings of Hickey and Anderson, we are left with £3 million, meaning our transfer window is finished. And this is how the Rangers team is looking going into season 3, and we have got an incredible squad on our hands there, lads. I think we can have a really, really successful season this time round. And oh my god, lads, our Champions League group is in, and we have got Real Madrid, Fenerbahce and Sparta Prague. That could not be any more difficult to get through. I just thought we've got enough to get past Fenerbahce and Sparta Prague, because there's no way we're topping Real Madrid. So we've literally had just a one out going in this window, lads. James Tavernier joining Chelsea. It's now time to simulate forward to January the 1st, and let's see if we've got through that incredibly hard Champions League group. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and I have to say I am massively disappointed with our performance this season. We're currently sitting 3rd in the Premier League, 7 points off table topping Celtic, and we've already lost 6 times in 20 games. What has gone wrong this season with Rangers? I mean, looking at this team, lads, there's no way this team should be 3rd in the SPL. I'm hoping we have a much better second half to the season and actually close the distance between us and Celtic. And it's much, much better news in the Champions League, lads. We actually finished 2nd, 4 points clear of 3rd place Fenerbahce, meaning we're through to the knockout rounds, and we will take on Inter Milan in the round of 16. Now, with only £1 million of our transfer budget, lads, we're not going to be bringing anyone in this window, and we are going to be allowing Connor Goldson and Ben Davies to leave the club on the expiry of their contracts. They're both 33 and 30 respectively. They're only going to decrease in overall. They've been great servants to Rangers, but it's time for them to move on. So we have reached the end of the transfer window, lads. We have had some interest in our players, but we've accepted no offers. We're not really looking to do any business. We've had no incomings either, as you know, so we're going to be simulating forward now to the end of the season, and I just hope we've got into a Champions League place at least. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and we did in fact finish top of the league, going on a 13-game unbeaten run in the process. Then when we got to the second stage, we won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1, and ended up winning the league entirely. And in other news, lads, grass is green, water is wet. Rangers win the Scottish Cup, this time smashing Hibernian 5-0 in the final. No Champions League final for us this season, which is understandable. We didn't even get past Inter Milan, lads. They absolutely smashed us 6-3 over 2 legs. So this is the Rangers team at the end of season 3, lads, and as you can see, we've had some excellent growth from the likes of Anderson, Buonanotte, Danilo, Cantwell and Badashile, just to name a few. However, I have encountered a bit of a glitch. Rashkin, now, hasn't played a game for about 3 weeks since the season ended, and he's still got 0 fitness. So I definitely hope that bug fixes itself for season 4. Otherwise, what we're actually going to do with Raskin? He can't play. On a more serious note though, lads, going into season 4, I do think we need a new goalkeeper to replace Meza, as he's just not growing. He's 26 years old, so there is room to grow, but I just don't think he is the man to help us get to a Champions League final, so we are going to replace him next season. And looking at the stats, lads, Danilo had another brilliant season, getting 35 goals and 12 assists, 28 of which coming in the Premier League. Facundo Buonanotte grew by 6 overalls this season, getting 18 goals and 17 assists in the process. Elliot Anderson had a great first season in Scotland, getting 16 goals and 8 assists, and Todd Cantwell had a great season as well, getting 16 and 9. So all in all, lads, the players are scoring, they're assisting, we are doing well. I think we just need to close up shop and bring in a better goalkeeper. We've arrived in season 4, lads, and we have got a big budget of £54 million to improve our squad. And it appears the Raskin glitch has followed us over into season 4. He's just stuck on 0 fitness. I've got no idea what to do with him, lads. And as we can see, lads, a critical board objective this season is to sign a first team player assigned to the midfielder position. So I might even cash in on Raskin and sell him and bring in a new set of midfielder, because he's clearly glitched. I can't have a player in the team with 0 energy. And we have managed to sell Nicholas Raskin to PSG for £60 million, meaning we've now got £113 million to improve our squad. And lads, we have had another major outgoing. Sebastian Meza has joined Udinese for £28 million. But lads, I have got an amazing replacement lined up. We are going to bring in Tottenham Hotspur's Guglielmo Ricario, 87 rated 29-year-old goalkeeper at the peak of his abilities. Let's get him into the football club. And for £60.8 million, we have brought Vicario to Rangers. And we have also identified Raskin's replacement, lads. We're going to bring in Quinton Timber from Feyenoord. He can play centre mid, centre attacking mid, centre defensive mid, and he's very versatile. He's 25 years old and 84 rated. I think he'll be an amazing signing, and it's not even going to cost us that much to bring him in, lads. And for £50 million, lads, we have brought Quinton Timber to Rangers, and that means we have £29 million of our transfer budget remaining, lads. But I think that's our transfer window done. And I have to admit, lads, looking at this Rangers team that we've built, I'd be really disappointed if we're not at least into the Champions League quarterfinals this season, especially given the fact we've got security and Vicario in goal at 87 rated. He's going to be so hard to score past. Our centre-back pair of Bedichil and McTominay is very strong as well. The reach deadline day, lads, there's been no further incomings and no further outgoings in this window. And our Champions League group consists of Chelsea, Club Brugge and Atalanta. Lads, what have we done to deserve this? However, the squad is looking very strong on paper, and I do think we can get through this group. Let's get forward to January the 1st and find out if we did. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we are absolutely smashing it in the Scottish Premier League. We are top of the league, 9 points clear of second place Hearts, and we have lost just once in our opening 20 games, lads. But remember last season, lads, it can all change in the space of just 13 games, so nothing's won just yet, but I'm very happy with the start we've made. And lads, I am absolutely delighted with how our Champions League group went. We finished second on 13 points. Atalanta didn't win a single game, and we are through to the round of 16 where we will take on Atletico Madrid. That is another very tough tie for us. Now, we do have £24 million, lads, but we do need this money to renew some contracts. I don't really think anything less than £40 million are going to bring in a first team starter, so there's going to be no incomers in this window. And lads, we are only letting one player leave at the end of the season. Is Robbie McCrory. He is free to leave the club either now or at the end of the season. But that's the transfer window done, lads. No incomings and no outgoings. Let's simulate forward to the end of the season, and I'm just hoping for better performance in Europe. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and we have absolutely walked the cinch Premier League, finishing 8 points clear of second place Hearts. And when we got to the Championship group, lads, we absolutely walked it yet again, finishing 13 points clear of second place Hearts. But lads, we have actually not won the Scottish Cup. Hearts won the Scottish Cup, and we got knocked out in the semi-finals. What's gone on? We changed the name of the cup to the Rangers Cup, and we've actually lost it for the first time in the rebuild, I think. And this team, lads, just continues to improve and improve. Facundo Buonanotte becomes the first 90-rated player of the rebuild. Elliot Anderson's grown all the way up to 86. So the squad's looking really good, lads. Going into next season, though, boys, I'm thinking primary target is going to be a left midfielder to replace Gabriel Veron, because he is not growing at that much of a good rate. Now, speaking of the Champions League, lads, we didn't make the final. It'll be an all-English final between Liverpool and Manchester City. We were actually knocked out in the quarter-finals on penalties by Liverpool. That just goes to show, lads, we are making progress. We're inching closer and closer to the final with every season that passes by. So looking at the squad, lads, and once again, our best player was Danilo, getting 34 goals and 11 assists, actually breaking the 30-goal barrier in the cinch Premier League. What a season he had. Todd Cantwell had a great season as well, getting 26 goals and 9 assists, but Quinton Timber in his first season in Scotland, got 19 goals and 9 assists. That's a great return. And our star boy Facundo Buonanotte got 18 goals and 16 assists. So a really, really good return from the bulk of the players, lads. Well, going into season 5, we definitely need to be getting towards the latter stages of the Champions League, because I think we've got the squad to do it now. So we've arrived in season 5 and we've got £92 million to improve our squad. So our first income into this transfer window, lads, is a bit of a peculiar one. As you know, at the end of last season, we let a goalkeeper go, meaning we only had Vicario left at the club. We have brought in Cristobal Agudelo from the free agents list. He's 18 years old and 80 rated, and he's going to be a great backup to Vicario this season. So at the end of last season, lads, we did say we wanted to bring in a left midfielder, and I have found the man for the job. Ansu Fati from Aston Villa, 24 years old and 86 overall. This would be an amazing signing. However, we are going to have to fork out the big bucks to bring him to Rangers. And lads, we have brought Ansu Fati to Rangers for a whopping £95 million, and that leaves us with just £9 million of our transfer budget remaining, lads. So it's safe to say that's the only bit of business we're doing in this window. But we did have to sell some players in order to fund the Fati deal. Scott Wright is a traitor. He has jumped ship and joined Celtic. Oh my god. And we've also spent a good chunk of our budget, lads, recruiting the best coaches from around the world, and just look at how many good coaches we've got at the club now. So we've reached the end of the transfer window, lads. There was no more incomings, no more outgoings. All that's left to do is check our Champions League group. And in the Champions League, we have got Juventus, Club Brugge again, and Lech Poznan. Do you know what? That's not a bad group, lads, and I do expect us to go through that group. So we've reached January the 1st, lads, and it is business as usual in the Cinch Premier League. We are 9 points clear of second placed Hearts, only losing 2 of our first 20 games of the season, and honestly, the Scottish League has just become far too easy for our squad. And lads, we absolutely breezed what was a pretty difficult Champions League group, not even losing a single game, finishing on 16 points, and that sets up a bumper tie against Bayern Munich. We have not had easy draws in this rebuild, and we've only got £8 million in this January transfer window, lads, so there's going to be no incomings, and I'm not looking to sell anyone either. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and it is business as usual in the Cinch Premier League. We're 16 points clear of second place Celtic and into the Championship group unbeaten again, finishing the season on 93 points. Just becoming too easy for us this league, lads. And after disappointment in the Scottish Cup last season, we do win it again, so it's back to being the Rangers Cup with smash Aberdeen 3-1 in the final. And finally, lads, we have reached the Champions League final, and we will be taking on Bayer Leverkusen. Now, our run to the final was a pretty interesting one. We ended up beating Bayern Munich 4-2 over 2 legs, winning the first leg 4-0, then losing the second one 2-0. That's just very temperamental of us. Second leg, we narrowly edged past Barcelona in a thrilling tie, 4-3 over 2 legs, including a 2-2 draw at the Nou Camp. And then, lads, just feast your eyes. Rangers 6, Manchester City 0. Read that again. Rangers 6, Man City 0. To set up a final with Bayer Leverkusen. Honestly blown away at how good this Rangers team has been from start to finish. So this is the Rangers team that has got us to a Champions League final, lads, and it's clear to see it is a very, very good team on paper. Buonanotte and Anderson being our best players at 90 and 94 rated. Danilo 89, very close to 90 as well. Vicario is also 89. Did have a season-ending injury for Aaron Hickey, so we had to recall one of our academy graduates, Fort, and evidently he's done a good job as we got to a final. That means that in the final, though, we will be playing with a 75 rated right back, which I'm not really too keen on. And once again, lads, Danilo was absolutely outstanding, getting 41 goals and 4 assists this season in 54 games, just getting better and better. Ansu Fati had an outstanding first season as a Rangers player, getting 33 goals and 14 assists. The Champions League final will be played at Wembley Stadium in front of 90,000 fans. This should be an amazing occasion. So it is time for the Champions League final at Wembley Stadium, lads. Rangers versus Bayer Leverkusen. Buonanotte makes a bit of a better run. We could be in here, lads. Passes on here to Danilo inside 10 minutes. I'm a bit far wide. Have a shot.
Nope.
Just good save. What I like about this Rangers team, lads, we have kept some of the starting players like Cantwell and Danilo in the team. Been really, really good in this first half. Yilmaz. Fati, come on. Oh, I was expecting net from... Oh my god. I was literally just expecting the net to rattle. That cannot have been far away. Oh, it's a whisker. And interestingly, Bayer Leverkusen have got Karnasechi in goal, who was actually our goalkeeper in our previous rebuild. Leave it away though. Cantwell make a run. Cantwell. Oh my god. Todd Cantwell makes it 1-0 to Rangers. A very rare power shot from me. Too much space given to him by the centre-backs to give the ball away in such a bad area, and Cantwell makes no mistake. It's past Karnasechi before he can even set himself. And Rangers boys are 1-0 up in the Champions League final against Bayer Leverkusen. Nope. Shot, and it's wide. Unlucky. Referee played well over a minute. No, played nearly 3 minutes, ref. Oh no. If they score here, I'm telling you. What a block. What a block. Get it away. Jesus, the ref actually played 5 additional minutes when he was only supposed to play 1. Are you joking? Good job we got that block in. with Badashile. But we're 1-0 up at half-time, lads, and that's all that matters. Oh, he's in. This could be the sealer. Danilo. Back stick to Cantwell. Oh my God, are you joking me? Are you joking me? That's one of the worst crosses ever. Oh, we should have been winning that back there. Oh no. Jimenez. Good save by Vicario. They're getting closer, aren't they? They are getting closer here. Leverkusen, we could do with that second goal. 15 minutes of the game are left, lads. Not been many clear-cut chances in this second half, but that's how we like it. It is 1-0. Sané's give it away. Poor ball. Cantwell. Danilo to seal it. Oh, he does as well, right into the top corner, and it is 2-0 to Rangers, and the Champions League trophy is surely making its way back to Scotland. All comes from a really poor pass in the Leverkusen half. Cantwell, who's been here since day one, slips in Danilo, and he smashes it into the roof of the net. No saving that. What a finish that is from Danilo. And it's our 2 day ones linking up Cantwell and Danilo, and it's our 2 day ones who actually scored the goals in the Champions League final. The chance here, you know. Good effort, and it's just wide. Wow. Jesus, felt like we're going to fly into the back of the net then. Is that the full time whistle? There we go, lads. We have won the Champions League with Rangers in just 5 seasons. We're beat by Leverkusen 2-0 in the final. Cantwell and Danilo were the goals, and the trophy is coming back to Scotland. And it will be club captain Scott McTominay to lift the trophy. He was the first signing we made of the rebuild, so a lot of sentiment going on here in this final, and all that's left to do is watch Rangers lift the trophy. And Rangers are the champions of Europe, and that is another rebuild successfully completed. So thank you very much for watching, boys. If you watched all the way to the end, you're an absolute legend, and I will see you in FC25.